highest short percentage in a very long time. But that oftentimes just means it squeezes higher. We're going to send you guys to the midday. We have no idea what's for lunch, but
not tilapia. I mean, can't that?
It can't be tilapia. Let's hope for tacos.
Now that you've mentioned, yeah, tacos would be a good one. Now that you've mentioned sandwiches, I mean, I'm always kind of hoping for those. But we'll see what happens there today. Right? It's 11:02. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Andre, Fabian, Ramin, everybody that's been over there. Thanks, Joe and Sharif earlier, Adara, Neil, everybody on the back end of this show. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the viewers as well. Yes. We couldn't do anything without you guys every single day. Join Neil and I back at 2 p.m. But for now, Luis will be joining these guys in the midday, I hope. Today was a Wednesday.
That's right.
But it's Sharif and, what's his name? Oh, yeah, Joe. We'll see you guys very, very soon. Ciao.
Tieneman's throwing some shade your way. Bro.
That's all right,
That's
man.
okay. It's all love between friends. Boom. Greetings, salutations, beautiful people. Welcome.
You know how we have the intro music?
Yeah.
I suggest we get outro music as well. Yeah, hold on.
Why?
Why? Because then every day at 1:59:40, we play the outro,
play it.
and then
whether they're at the desks or not.
It doesn't even matter. We just play the outro, and then that's it. Yeah.
That's a recipe to get fired around here, Joey. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's say hello, you guy. We got all class Adam DeLuce and Luis Barbado. I guess there was an issue with the vertical video today. Hopefully that is all fixed up. It says, Luis says that now it is solved. We got Durant, Gordon, Jose, Kama, Mint, Cheese, Pickle, Sanger, Cornetto. What? Lee the Conductor, Don Baca. We got Durant, Gordon, Mr. Kevin G. Shout out to Athelstan, Customer ATH, let's go. Learning a trade. Hello from Syria. What's up, Ali? What's going on, my man? I don't know why YouTube is taking a very long time, Assassino, to bring everybody in. I don't know what the deal is. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's fine. Hello, Darth Trader, Manny Oliveira. We got the Gorev. Look at that. His name is Green. Your boy Gorev's got the green name there.
Man, my boy, man.
There you go. Flex on him, Joey. Flex on him. What was
that camera angle.
Hold on. What happened at the workout park yesterday, Joey? Why don't you
it wasn't yesterday. It was over the weekend.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There were some fans there for Joseph at the outdoor training park. Shout out to Yannick. Shout out to exactly that, Assassino, actually. Your owner. Snowman, R-Shade, I Grow Fighting. Shout out to the Trader Sam. Stone Broke since yesterday. I love the name, man. Cars, wow. We got Ozan. I don't know what to feel. Hug me. It's one of those days, isn't it, Ozan? My man. It's all good there. We'll give you a metaphorical or, a hug from far away. Hangry. We got Paul Gurnett. Probably Gurnett, sorry. Christ, Eternal God in the house, as well as Mike PD Rider to New York. Shout out to James Anderson and Lemon Family, man. We got Mike the Stock Impaler. He be impaling these stocks, man. Gorilla 1981, good year there. The year before I was born, 82 is a little bit better. But
but for sure. Easy.
Joey, let me just cover this super quick and let everybody know that ZCMD is halted to the upside. We got another multiple halter today, and as the Katina man had mentioned, this one was halted last at 10:15, and then the next halt 10:50. Into the high of the day we go. Halt price 8.18. Tap, oh baby, beautiful. $11 tap off an 8.18 halt price, halt time. 10:53:57. Current time 11:05 and change. Meaning what? That this will be a minimum 15-minute halt, if not more. We did see a half an hour halt yesterday. Neil, what was the name of that ticker, man? What was that? The one that had an offering today? Something. It started with a C. Okay, so it's a good one there because it started. CPHI. Thank you, Katina, man. So that one was halted for half an hour yesterday, and that one ended up 1,600%. So I wouldn't put, that past this one as well. I'm not saying we're going to get a repeat of yesterday, but when it rains, it does pour, and these things come in waves, Joey. So I'm all ears, eyes, and whatever the hell else perception we have as humans. I'm ready to go.
All right, man. I like to hear that, man. Let's see if we can get this going here one more time. Here, I'll show you guys what was going on here this morning for the kid. Now, I sent this to Katina, man, And this is what's frustrating. So you can see this blue dot. That's the time that we'll post up here. Let me actually zoom in for you guys. Okay, we can't do that anyways. Aside from that, yeah, Nvidia is really moving. 210.68. Let's go, man. That's what I'm talking about. So here it is, right? So at this time exactly, I post up at $11.15. Taps into it multiple times, doesn't fill the order, and then just goes off to the races on that one. So I'm like, what the hell? I'm huffing and puffing, and I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Getting agitated. So then eventually it does get filled, and then I'm like, all right, let's get stopped out. And then I tried it again, but then I just like put on significantly more size on this one, and then I'm like, yeah, what am I doing? We keep rejecting the volume weighted average price, so I just take that one out. I added small right there, about a half a risk unit, and then I put on a couple of units right there. Ours on that one. And then I'm like, all right, let's just get out because I don't think we're going to punch through. The market was moving higher at that time, and this was doing nothing. So now I'm just, again, starting relatively small. Let's see if we can get that breakthrough VWAP and then head towards the high of the day. That's the primary objective. Look at NVDA go. Man, this thing is on one right now. Like Drizzy Drake, he said, I'm on one. All right, so 11 clock, bang, off to the race, and you can see the volume really start to uptick here, but no participation from Tesla and company. NASDAQ at the high of the day as well, too. Don said, Joe, we got to start referring to our deltas, not necessarily from a dollar percentage, but from a dollar number or whatever word I'm looking for. But more or less, figure. Thank you very much, Sharif. Yeah, a dollar figure, but more or less a percentage. And we went over our spiel before on how we can utilize our delta and just look at it from a percentage metric, right? At the money IV, about 40%, 56%, 46% that this is going to close out of the money, 56% it's going to close in the money. The deeper you get into the money at 99 delta, I mean, almost at that one-to-one, Don. I know you don't like that 1 second, but what we have here is that, okay, we can look at it and correlate it with the current price, 211, 180. Yeah, there's a high probability that this contract will expire in the money. And don't forget, your delta is always going to be fluctuating with the underlying asset. Keep that in mind, guys. And thank you, Don, my guy.
Get it,
All right, let's send it off.
Little bit of an uptick here, nothing too crazy. Keep an eye out for the ticker PM, that's Philip Morris. So you have ZIN, that's owned by Philip Morris, reporting selling 2.9 billion ZINs last quarter, which is up 1.8% year over year. Stock is up 2.5% at the moment.
You're not even invested in that name. Why are you hitting the bang, bro?
How many billion ZINs? How many, come back, see how many billion ZINs were sold last year, man? That's crazy. But you know what's funny? My friends and I were talking about it. Like, you see the nicotine pouches almost as much as you see cigarette butts on the ground now. Look, you'll start noticing it. And it's crazy. And when you see people walking down the street and you see that circular thing in their pocket, you know, bro's got a couple.
Where's Big Spile, man?
Where is he, man?
I mean, like, wasn't he all about that ZIN life?
Yeah, he's about the ZIN life. Wow, NVDA is going off,
bro,
man. We got to find
someone
something.
in the chat was like, yo, NVIDIA's building the Burj Khalifa right now. I mean, because it looks like
yeah, look at it, man. And it's absolutely going nuts right now. We only have Zonic here. We don't got ZIN. Same thing, though, pretty much.
Is it by Philip Morris?
No,
or is it a different company?
Different company. Yeah, this Tesla trade not wanting to work, but what is definitely working is all that money flowing out of TSLA right into NVDA. Full disclosure, yesterday, guys, I was down about like 3/4 of my shutdown yesterday, and then I finished up a staggering whole dollar streak. So red to green, we'll take it.
It's right to
we'll
green,
take
bro.
it. Yeah, exactly. We'll take it for what it is. But now up to 212, man. This is so. As I was looking at the daily, I'm like, this is going to be a massive pivotal moment here for NVDA. If we break this downtrend is officially snapped. And I think if we have a couple of more strong sessions, off to the races we go. And I've just been slowly building. Would I have liked to got significantly more? Absolutely. But that's not the case right now. I do believe there's going to be an opportunity for us to get involved. But hey, with Google's earnings after the bell and we're buying up in NVDA, somebody might know something.
Someone gotta get hurt real bad. All right, let's do this here. VinFast, guys, gotta tell you about this one. It continues to expand beyond vehicle sales this week. VinFast India partnered with Shriram Finance to support EV financing access, while Green SM Well, they launched an all-electric ride-hailing service in Kazakhstan, and they're using VinFast VF6 vehicles to get it done. Together, these moves highlight VinFast's broader mobility ecosystem strategy. You can find them on the NASDAQ trading under ticker VFS. There goes MTEN into the high side. We got 53s. There's 75. We're looking for 82. Thank you, chat, for calling this one out. I didn't have eyes on it. Here comes 79. The high of the day is right at 82. I did not have the order at 82, hence why we did not wet the beak there. Continuing to watch, zigging, zagging at that 80 penny level. There's a seller here in the high 70s, low 80s. Limit up is 197. I don't expect this to rip up and deliver. There goes 82, Mr. Options. And there, give me my money, man. There goes 90. It is now a 95 high a day. We're posting at the high of the day right now. 89 showing up on the bid, 71%. Trade de novo. That means this one just started breaking out. It was not making moves earlier on. We got 53 pennies, and you rest assured, you better believe no part of this trade is going to go against me. We're looking for 2 here, Mr. Options, but we're getting some selling into the high 9s.
Good stuff. Okay, LPKT5N. When live, can you guys talk about what's moving the market rather than these silly small caps?
No.
Hold on. Let me finish. Listen, brother, to remain kind of closed-minded, I think it's going to be to your own detriment as a trader, because at the end of the day, if you remove what's on the side column right here, and that's numbers, it doesn't matter. Momentum is momentum, and if you can find stocks or a space in general that provides that, then trade it. Don't hold too heavy of a bias as like, oh, I only trade this, I only trade that, I only do this and I only do that. Well, you're just staying narrow-minded, and you're not going to be able to grow like that. Listen, I never was trading small caps from the beginning, but I just like, okay, I like momentum style plays, and why not get involved with it? Just don't remain ignorant to the
large
fact.
caps is different than the money from small caps.
For sure, man. But what I'm getting at is just like, hey, just don't remain narrow-minded, right? Just keep an open mind, and just like, hey, you never know. Maybe you'll like them, and you're like, okay, cool. When you have all this tomfoolery stepping in the market, Donald Trump truthing this, and Iran saying that, and Axios posting this, and all of this stuff, sometimes you just want to step away from that noise, and I think small caps gives you that opportunity to do so. So I mean, just don't crap on it unless you've tried it, to be honest with you. Like Neil said.
I really love how you gave that person the time of day and that length of a speech.
Well, I think deserving.
No. Really?
Yeah.
I don't think that they are. That's a closed-minded person that I want nothing to do with.
You never know, man. Yeah. What if they become open-minded, right? Like you can
on their own time, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, we did just keep an open mind, to be honest.
All right, man. Let's continue to watch MTEN here, still zigging and zagging 195. I do expect resistance at $2. So it's going to be a little bit of a different trade once we get close to that too. So I do expect, or I anticipate anyway, some resistance in the mid-90s, because that's the high of the day. The question to me at this point is going to be what kind of resistance waits for us at $2, and then what kind of possible move up given the daily. Let's flip to this one quickly. Let's just go to the daily on the small screen. Yeah, so we have a long way to go till we find resistance on this one. So we're going to find likely resistance at $4. That is, of course, predicated upon it clearing 2, it clearing 3. What is happening there, Fabian? I feel like we're in a, I don't know. I don't even know what those sound effects are. But anyway, you see that it made its way up into $4 around mid-June. It did it again on the 17th. So I want to see if this can mosey on up into 4. If it does, I'll be here for it. If it comes back into my entry, no part of this trade is going to go against me. We'll stop out before that. Now, somebody asked me, Tame Panda was asking me about ZCMD and when I expect this one to open. We have no idea. The good thing is, though, this one is trading on the NQ. And as a result of trading on the NQ, we'll always be able to see the tap. Right now, the tap is at an eye-watering $11.70, having halted at 818. So we're going to gap up. We're going to gap up substantially here. If it is to open at that level, let's find out exactly when to expect. Let's find out exactly what we're going to get. Now, the halt time is 10:53:57, so just add 5-minute increments on top of that. So right now it's 11:16. Keep your eye on that. Let's see if it opens up sooner rather than later, Joey.
All right, man. You got to get that H2O in. Still sitting in this chop fest. Hydration Nation. Katina, man, hit it if you can while you're over there. The NASDAQ looking pretty good. And we're breaking through a key pivot. Like, I mean, there, bang, got to get that water in. 213.11 was the high of the day on NVDA, and we're still in this. If we pick up steam and I see the volume kick in, I'll just double up the size. Ain't a thing but a chicken wing. But here it is, right? Like, this is attempt number 3. Strikeout 1, strikeout 2, and if we strike out for a third time, then it's our job to move our focus to a different place, all right? So maybe it could be NVDA on any form of a pullback. But right now, we're just in a full buy program. This is what I want to do. What's up, Fabian? There it is, bang. And we are up 5% or 6.25 here almost on NVDA. So a big time move. And I'm looking for something across the board, and I don't see anything just spike up 2.28%. So nothing necessarily from a catalyst stepping in on this bad boy, but we'll take it for what it is. I believe this has been lagging. Like, if we go back, and I was thinking about this morning, I'm like, okay, so you had some of these memory storage names really pull back, 43%. You've seen AMD do a little bit of a pullback as well too, to the tune of 21%, but we held half decently in this name, right? Like, I mean, it wasn't too horrible, 19%, but then now we're starting to recover and putting in this nice bullish candle. This is, a daily print, I should say. This is a massive breakout. And for all the high of the day break traders, there it is, 208.31 with the volume stepping in there, Sharif. So big time movement so far. Now, how deep are these pullbacks going to be is the question that I'm going to be looking for. $33, maybe $32.50, then maybe we look to participate to the long side, brother.
All right, man. Continuing to watch here, MTEN bouncing off the volume-weighted average price. It is making lower lows. So here's the deal. 195 area high. So I'm looking at the 5-second chart on this bad boy. Get it, Randy. 195. We got a lower high in 186, and now we have yet another lower high, 177. Be on the lookout here for a fail. So you got the bounce off VWAP. That's the good news. The bad news is we're still putting in lower highs. I would say we'll get a decided trend change if we can take out that 185 area high, which was 1114.50 on the 5-second chart if you're using that spot areas of support and resistance. Prior area high is 1118 on the dot. That was 172. So you have a 185 area high, 172 area high, and I've moved up my stop to above my break even now. So you know this one won't go against me at all. And I just want to mention there's one here that's a little bit slower of a mover, but it is worth noting. So KSCP, big breakout there, and a good hold, number 1, above the 10 EMA, and then number 2, it's holding above $2. Now, I don't like this kind of consolidation component of the bull flag that it's putting in right now, but this might be the opportunity for you to build the position there, right? For a possible continuation into maybe 2.25. If it really gets a bit under its wings, we're looking at 250. So KSCP, I'd probably stop out below 2, but something I'm going to keep my eye on here. Let's send it up to Sia.
Okay, Nvidia on watch here at session highs at the moment. It opened around $205, currently sitting at 212.73 at the moment, up over 2.5% at the moment.
Someone testing electricity, man. The current, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Got stopped out for the last remaining amount on MTEN as it did fill VWAP, so keep your eye on that one. I'm not going to trade this right now. It's below the volume-weighted average price. If it can get back above that 172, was it 172? Yeah, 172, I'll get back involved with that, but this one is on the wrong path right now. Below VWAP, it's about to lose a 10 EMA, so be on the lookout there. Continuing to watch ZCMD. Oh my days. The tap is now showing $12.50. Okay, now it just moved down to 12, 12.20, 12. It's moving crazy. That usually means that we're about to open. If my experience, is any guide here, let's continue to watch. So 10.53.57. All right, so let's add waves of 5 on that. So that would be 58, and then it would be 11.02, and then it would be 11.07, right? And then it would be 11.13. 18, all right, 18, then you got 23. So 11:23:57 is the earliest this one can open. Right now, It looks like it's 11:21:12. So we got a couple of minutes for this one before the earliest open it could have. Now, I didn't even bring in my side charts. So let's bring these in. Let's do a little talking about what else I've got on watch. As I mentioned, KSCP, definitely one of them. You're going to see ONDL on there. That's obviously not a small cap gapper, but we had it on watch yesterday. Did pretty well yesterday. This is ONDS's leveraged ETF, and today it's doing well again. More of a traditional looking bull flag. Yesterday it was a bit of a sell-off. Didn't really hold the trend. It held VWAP, but the trend ended up giving way. That's ONDL. LICN is going to lose its spot on the side chart here any moment. This one had a big breakout in the pre-market at around 435. It got another bid there to try to reclaim the volume weighted average price just a little bit below before 11, excuse me. And then you have GSUN. Now this one had a big day yesterday. It's recovering a little bit from the sell-off that it had in the afternoon, but it's super light on volume. Compare the volume bars on the bottom right of your screen to the middle left. You don't even see the volume bars from today because it's just overshadowed by yesterday's price action. AMPG as well, very lightly traded. DLL, you can tell obviously this is not going to be a small cap gapper. This is the Dell leveraged ETF, and it's had a couple of great days. Look at the 930 pop, and then the aftermarket pop on sympathy with SMCI. Wow, SMCI released earnings on time yesterday. What a shock. Right at 405. And then yet another pop this morning at 935. So DLL could be interesting here. And then you got MTEN on the bottom right. So I don't want to say the pickings are slim because you got ZCMD showing a tap of $13 right now, but there aren't many. MTEN below VWAP, KSCP, consolidative, Joe.
Doesn't this guy look like a big smile right here?
Yes, actually he does. Take a picture of that. Send me that. Screenshot that. I'm gonna troll him right now.
That's crazy.
Maybe we'll get him back on the screen.
Ask him why he was on CNBC.
I will. That's actually funny. We got a super chat here.
Yeah, want me to cover it? Look, there.
Yeah, $5. SMCI had a day and a week looking for 28 HMM. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I have no idea either. I can take a look at it. 28, looking for 28. Oh, okay. That's what he was saying. Had a week. Okay, yeah, we'll take a look at that here. Question, please. $5 super chat. I don't understand why keep runners, but when do one decide when to close it? But when does one decide to close it? Whenever you hit targets, or you feel that the stock is slowing down or the momentum is starting to cool down a little bit, I think those are good opportunities for you to take advantage of some of the profits that you locked in, right? Like check at some key levels. Check if the overall market is moving as well too. If you see couple other names within its space and its sector start to slow down and curl back over, then look to take some profits off. I understand that sometimes it's nice to just leave something running, but unfortunately the market doesn't care about where your target is or where your certain level may be. It will just stop when it wants. And if you can have the ability to, or if you have the ability to lock in some profits on the way up and you left it running for a little while, then by all means take a little profit off. Yeah, SMCI has definitely had a day. And then sure enough, it seems to be NVDA's turn now. Now, Gaurav, see, the thing is though, I'm not displeased with where I'm currently sitting on this position. Lower end of the range would have been more ideal. I did post up at 10s, but I'm like, nah, I'm not allowing that to happen again. But sure enough, here it is. I don't know if you were paying attention. So this one, I have a decent amount of shares here. Get out at the low of the day, no problem whatsoever. And then I'm like, you know what? We're curling back around. We officially broke that downtrend. Let's start small, starts to work. So then I just really added up, and then I'm like, okay, hold on. Why are we rejecting the volume weighted average price like it's some form of insane missile defense system right here? So I'm like, let me get out, go for a little heel toe express walk down the street, cool back, and then come. It's still consolidating. So I'm like, all right, let's try this one more time. But with this position, I literally have less than half than what I had on this one, and a little bit less, 33% than what I had on this one. So the ones that we take a little bit of paper cuts, I just don't have enough size in order for us to make it up on one of these smaller moves. I need to wait until we're at least at the high of the day. We're at 11.14 in order for me to eliminate just a couple of the losses. So we'll keep an eye out on this just in case. there's a good opportunity for us to add. We talked about the potential micro pullback in NVDA as that name is doing pretty decent. Oh, what happened here? Okay. All right. Yeah. Anyways, NASDAQ at the high of the day. We're not going to complain. Let's do what we haven't done yet today. And let's head over to our watch list. We'll take a look at some of the better. I know the girls see you doing a fantastic job on Sector Watch, so no need for me to go over that. But Meta, 629. Listen, look at this, Sharif.
Yes, sir.
There's obviously a supply zone here at 683 on Meta. I know, but hey, this is what I've drawn. Maybe that comes into play. But look at this. 1, 2, a whipsaw move, 3, 4, 5 touches at 680 on Meta.
Sorry, I'm.
Is it the butt? It's the
Doesn't
sound.
it feel like a hospital? Like, deet, deet, right?
No,
a little bit,
no.
right? You know, like.
Does a CT scan sound like that?
I don't know. Brother, I just took my old man. Remember last
Yeah, you were telling me
CT scan, but they made me stay outside.
Yeah,
so
you don't want to go in there in that magnetic field. But anyways, there's clearly a supply zone at 680 here on Meta. Once that breaks, I think we have some room to run. I want to add a little bit more here on this Tesla trade, but I'm going to wait for anything south of the volume-weighted average price and maybe a retest of this consolidation zone. Let's go TSLA.
Get it, Joe. Yes, Joe. Wow. Were you a cheerleader?
No.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I was on the field.
You were on the field. You were the one making the plays.
I was always cheering on the cheerleaders though, for sure.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I mean,
my niece is a cheerleader. It's
really?
It's its own sport now.
It is. No, it is. Well, think about how serious the states take it.
Oh, very serious.
It's like a whole.
She had a gymnastics background, so she kind of outgrew that and kind of reapplied.
What do you mean,
her
of
skills
course,
a little
Ramin?
bit. What happened?
Well, I said I cheered on the cheerleaders, and she's like, of course.
She's just looking for a reason to be mean, because that's what she.
But I don't think it's that
Shout
mean.
out to Ram. Guys, I've seen a new one here. I don't think it's new, but it's okay. I'm not happy with this downtrend. It just failed 11.5. ADVB is the ticker. It's up 60%. It's got a good amount of volume here, 11.25 million. The spread is okay at times and not okay at others. 12 on the bid, 25 on the ask. That's not going to believe it. Okay, here we go. ZCMD is open. It's ripping. $11 high. Let's see where the buyers are stepping in. It's going to, there it goes through 11 into 11.21, but it's dropping again into 10. Not touching this quite yet. I need to just see the established range here. I just opened this up. I hadn't seen it trade before that because it was halted. Continuing to watch 11 resistance. This feels like it's going to rip. 11.35. We could see 12. 11.96 high. Just 1 second, Assassino. 11.96 high. Does it hold 11? Current bar low right now. Current bar low is 9.40. Current bar high 11.96. We're at the mid-print. A little bit above 11, a little bit below. 657%. And the volume is picking up. 51 million shares. So basically, this is a candle right now without a body on the 5. It has equidistant upper and lower wicks. This is an undecided trade. 11.96 high. We could see 15 if 12 gets breached pretty easily. Trade this one carefully. You could be out of the money almost immediately. I can't say that enough, okay? Just because, they went yesterday into 1,600% doesn't mean this one's going to. So be careful. Know that the short sellers are looking to take your money. Be smart about it. Let's pause for a second because we have a very special interview with Adara at the big desk.
Here with us this morning is Michael Hanley, CEO of Valiant Bio. You can find this stock here on the NASDAQ under ticker VBIO. Good morning, Michael. Great to have you with us today. Oh. Sorry, I think there's some audio issues. We're just going to make sure that's all good for a second here so that everyone can hear you and learn more about the company. Are we good to go here with audio?
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Happy to hear it, and thanks for coming on here today. Great to have you on, Michael.
Great, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, let's get right here into the question. So can you just start by giving us an overview of what your company, Valiant Bio, does, and tell us a little bit about this entolimod, which is Valiant's radiation treatment?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for asking the question. So Valiant Bio is an immunotherapeutics company. There's a lot of immunotherapeutics company out there. we have a drug and a platform that focuses on a specific receptor. And this receptor gives us the ability to modulate the immune system across different indications. So we have multiple shots on goal, which is very exciting to us. Our first shot on goal is for radiation and chemotherapy, radiation being the specific one. So there's other drugs that I worked on, like at Amgen, Neupogen, Neulasta, Leukyne, when I was at Amgen back in the late 90s, early 2000s, that work on protecting the bone marrow from radiation and chemotherapy. Our drug is unique in that it not only does that, it also protects the GI tract, kidneys, liver, and spleen. So it has a multitude of effects across different tissue types. And of course, this is very important. As we know, all of us know someone with cancer, and everybody is affected by this disease. And 60 to 70% of all cancer patients, the first line therapy is radiation and chemo, right? So with that, we have looked at multiple indications. Our first indication is actually going to be acute radiation syndrome. And acute radiation syndrome is we'll call it a biodefense application. We've been in discussions with the government. We've had press releases about it. We just had a press release come out this morning we're very excited about. Ukraine has accepted our submission, our dossier for approval in Ukraine for use of the drug against acute radiation syndrome. As some people may or may not know, in the Russian conflict, they have radiation leakage at 2 of their reactors. And President Zelensky is very interested in protecting his soldiers and his citizens over there. So we're very excited about this drug platform, excited about the opportunity, and look forward to getting these drugs to market quickly.
Congrats on that Ukraine announcement. Let's get more into the FDA approval process here. Speaking of, getting drugs to market. So how does FDA approval work for this type of drug, given that the regulatory body doesn't usually approve drugs without human efficacy trials having been conducted?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've dosed 300 patients successfully. No adverse or severe adverse events. We've dosed multiple non-human primate studies, 43, 1,200 non-human primates. And that's as a result of the animal rule under the FDA. So it obviously would be unethical to expose humans to unnecessary radiation and then test the drug. So we're allowed to test the drug in healthy human subjects. So we did 300 subjects, demonstrated that it protected the tissue. We saw biomarkers upregulate. And then we did 43 studies in non-human primates where we used lethal doses of 70% of ionizing radiation. And we increased the survivability by over 40% in these models. And these are proven models by the FDA that are required by the FDA. So we have high confidence that we have the efficacy, we have the safety. And then one other thing I'll touch on too is we do have a manufacturing facility down in San Antonio that we just acquired in December. That manufacturing facility is currently producing in Tolomed right now and has the ability to scale up. So if we were to get some kind of order from a country, we're able to fulfill that order pretty quickly. And one of the last things I'll leave you with on this question on the FDA side, the FDA process is pretty straightforward right now. We've completed all the clinical studies. We completed all the animal studies. All we need to do now is show manufacturing validation, and then we need to show that it has stability. That takes about 12 months. We'll start our manufacturing validation this fall. We'll initiate stability on the drug product this spring, and then we should be able to file for approval by the end of 2027.
It's very exciting. And I know you mentioned here earlier the Ukraine element here, this news story for you guys. What can you tell us about any other government interest that Valiant Bio is receiving here in the work they're doing, both in the U.S. and abroad in other countries?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. I can't say anything material, non-public information, but I can say we are talking to 5 other countries, allied nations of the U.S., and they span the range from the Middle East to Asia to, even Southern Hemisphere countries. So we have a lot of interest from a lot of other countries. There are earlier discussions than there are with Ukraine, but we're getting a lot of visibility. Unfortunately, due to the current conflicts and the issues that are around the world, there is a very significant concern about radiation exposure, whether that's a dirty bomb, tactical nuclear warfare, or in Ukraine's case, it's just damage of nuclear facilities that can cause radiation leakage into the surrounding areas where citizens get exposed.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense here. Now, I know you mentioned here San Antonio for some manufacturing. I guess let's kind of zoom out into that. What can you tell us about the domestic manufacturing case here for Entolimod, and for Valiant Bio. You mentioned San Antonio. I guess just make the case here for everyone for your company and this drug as a domestic manufacturing play.
Absolutely. It was a strategic decision. There's a couple factors that led into the acquisition of the manufacturing site down in San Antonio. It was previously owned by another group. We bought it from them with the help of an investor. And that site saves us $6 million in manufacturing costs in about 18 months. To get the manufacturing validated and approved for BLA. It also has the ability to scale up to do millions of doses. And because it's in San Antonio, which is known as, military USA city, there's at least 5 military bases that can ship drug product from that site throughout the US, DC, San Francisco, LA, New York, wherever. So geographically, it's ideally located. The workforce down there is phenomenal. Our team down there is phenomenal. We have about 55 employees at the site. And we have the ability to scale and manufacture to millions of doses, which is pretty significant. So if there was ever an emergency, and God willing, there's not an emergency, we'd be able to supply product very quickly and distribute it very quickly throughout the United States.
Looking forward, what should investors and viewers expect from Valiant Bio over the next few weeks and months?
Yeah, great question. So we announced back in March that we did a deal with NIAID and BARDA. NIAID and BARDA are two entities that work on rad nuke therapeutics for citizens and also warfighters. We also talked to the DoD as well. We had 3 meetings with BARDA NIAID, 1 meeting with the Pentagon. And there was a strong interest, obviously, in potentially, I got to be careful, potentially stockpiling this drug. More so much so that they signed a contract with us. They're going to pay for FDA approval studies that we weren't necessarily going after, but they expand the label. They're going after different claims that they think are important. One of them is the GI tract. There's no drug currently on the market. Even the drugs I've worked at Amgen don't work on the GI tract. In radiation and chemotherapy, your bone marrow is the first to get destroyed. The GI tract is the second to get destroyed. So if you can protect the GI tract, you can keep the patient healthy, absorbing nutritional value, and moving forward. And this applies what I'm even more excited about. I'm an oncology guy. So when I saw this drug, it reminded me of Neulasta, which was 8 to 9 billion in peak sales. It's still doing about 4 billion in sales at Amgen. And this drug not only performs as well on the bone marrow and the hemopoietic side, producing white blood cells, but it also has the added benefit that Neulasta doesn't around protecting the GI tract, kidneys, livers, and spleen. So this has a huge opportunity of helping cancer patients who are getting chemotherapy or radiation therapy. It works both on chemo and radiation to provide a better quality of life and also to provide the medical and radiological oncologists a pathway to keeping their patients healthier as they're getting treated with radiation and chemo. So we're very excited about that.
Oh, there's a lot to look forward to coming here out of Valiant Bio. Thanks again to Michael Handley for being here with us today, CEO of Valiant Bio. You guys can find the stock here on the NASDAQ, ticker VBIO. Thanks again, Michael. Have a great one.
Great. Thanks so much. Take care. Thanks for having me.
Take care. You as well.
All right. Bye-bye.
We're close to limit up here on ZCMD. Limit up in a dangerous area. I see 1099 limit up. There's the halt parameter. Watch out. This could fail. It's false halted multiple times. 1099 limit up on this one. I'm just taking out more here. Now, boom, 1146 now limit up. Looking for continuation. Have 62s on this one. 46 limit up. Anything below my entry ends the trade now. Let's see. There we go. Out for the last remaining amount. Decent trade. Not bad, but it doesn't have that continuity quite yet. Current bar high, 1136. Current bar low, 821. The range is ridiculous, okay? 1146 still limit up, but it's already below 10. Boom. All right, so not a great trade, to be quite honest with you, but, I was looking for a little bit more. I was looking for a high day test. Once we broke through 11, I was thinking, all right, well, we're looking like we're going to be on the way to 12 here, but it didn't quite make it that way. Oh, no. 782 limit down. Watch out here, guys. 880s or so. Watch out for the limit down into 772, but it's back above 9. All right, so this one's all over the map. Funny enough, though, the support level is predictable. It's in the low 80s, and that's where we halted, right? We had like a halt, I think, of 812, something like that, 815, right around that level. So all the bottoming tail candles seem to be defending that level for now. I haven't had anything down there. I didn't pick up anything in the low 8s. I wouldn't necessarily want to, because if it fails that level, I'd probably get caught in a halt. So I'd rather take it once it's shown me momentum to the high side. But yeah, you could do that as well. You could bottom feed right around the, the 820, 830, whatever, in and around that $8 level. So this one all over the map, Joey, but hey, it's going to be on a lot of people's radars, up 530%.
All right, cool, man. C wants you to take a look at AMC. I looked at it here. AMC. Oh, okay. Did you message me it? Send it to me. All right. Anyway, we'll figure out what we got going on over there.
Get it, Fisher.
Yeah. So here it is, Gorb. Yeah, we don't want to expend too much mental capital on this thing. Yeah, I'm probably going to do the same. Yeah, Tesla did. So I remember last earnings report, it didn't do too much, and I'm pretty sure it just sold off, right? So unless we get some move, like I'm thinking about doubling up the size, but is it worth it? Or do we switch our focus onto a name that's really in a parabolic uptrend and try to find any form of a pullback into a support level? Like, I mean, it's harder to when you're just going straight up and to the right. So, I mean, any indecision prints in this area, in this void here, then I think I'm going to be looking for a long and just keep the size that I have on with Tesla. And if it continues to appreciate in price, then so be it. But I think my focus is more or less going to switch over here to NVDA. And then guys know how I rock and roll during that 3 o'clock hour, man. We're like stone cold. But anyways, let's send things off to Adara and Juan.
U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer just concluded his hearing here in front of the Senate Finance Committee, but we're just going to start this Europe segment as the European market closes. So beginnings and ends here in focus. Let's talk about the European market with Juan.
Thank you, Adara. So another green day in Europe. Everyone in the green. If we take a look at some of the indexes, Stocks Euro 600, they're climbing to a 2-week high with a huge 1.3% jump in energy index, basically carrying the broader market and giving it its gains. If we move on over to Germany, the DAX up by 0.61%. It's back at its 25,000 threshold and was heavily propelled by a massive volume of afternoon bids for Airbus. Airbus now up by 6.35%, which is a wonderful sign. In France, also in the green, up by nearly 1%. Most of it, of course, on luxury names stabilizing, as well as Total Energies up by 1.8%. That carried a lot of inflows and volumes. And in the UK, they are the regional leaders for the European markets today. They marched straight into a 20-week high as institutional capital rotated heavily, especially into oil and mining components. We can see Shell and BP both gaining about 0.5 and 1% respectively. So what are the main stories out of Europe in that region right now? Of course, there's going to be a little bit of aviation supply chain shakeup. All right, we've got major industrial and transport shifting that led trade cargo handler, DSV, sinking by about 7.8%. But I mentioned earlier, Airbus jumping by about 6.35%. Balancing it out, that supported German engineering blue chips in the region, as well as Eurozone industrial baseline. And the major story right now is, of course, the tariff shockwaves threatening that of the Eurozone industry. It was revealed earlier today that the markets are now bracing after a White House briefing revealed plans for a 10% reciprocal tariff framework. So now all these EU manufactured goods might get a little bit more tariffs, especially what happened to Canada with the 50% tariff. That's heavily affecting that of export-dependent industrial sectors in Germany and France. So we got to watch out for that, see if that makes any headwinds moving on to the end of the week.
Yeah, definitely keep an eye on, again, tariffs, energy, industrials, lots to watch out for in Europe. You can also check us out here at the same desk, same spot at 3:30 p.m. with Juan to go over the Asian market. But in the meantime, we'll go back to the midday.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, iGrow, very much. So there for 5 memberships right there from our guy. So we can go over, train at his gym any day of the week, man.
Sick,
I believe it's in LA. So, wow, that's shut the bleep and don't bother me no more answer. No, not it, bro. Why? It's not. I see what you're saying. Like, listen, if it was going to.
What did you say to him, Joey?
I said anything can happen.
Oh, true.
Isn't that a valid answer? Like,
Absolutely.
if it breaks 214, it can either continue to move or it's going to sell off a little bit. And if it does sell off a little bit, then you can buy more. If it decides to rip and the momentum looks like it's going to break some key pivot levels, which it is, I told you, this is a massive moment here for NVDA on the daily. Look at this resistance zone in the supply zone that I was just referring to at 213. I think if we break that, then it's off to the races to potentially go and test this high. And if we get a lower high established, then guess what? You're still in the 225 area, right? So keep an eye out on that, man. Listen, I'm pedal to the metal. I was going to say something else in regards to Adair's window to the wall segment. But anyways, aside from that, I'm full in, man. So just continue to rock and roll with it. Let's go, Tesla. I wanted to add at VWAP. We didn't. I was going on a whole spiel with Gaurav. I'm like, man, I don't know if I feel like expending that type of mental capital. Already had to go on a heel toe express this morning. So, I mean, hey, let's rock and roll and see if we can run into 1132. It's going to be my primary target. By that point, I believe we will have eliminated our losses and then gone slightly green. But right now, I would just like to add more into this position, Shreve.
Yeah, man. ZCMD, we're break even on this one. It's putting in lower highs. So I'm thinking about ending this trade. I'm just trying to keep an eye on where the sellers are coming in. They're coming in at 875 now. So I have 77s on. I just get out for a break-even trade, but I want to see if it wants to come back up into 9. I don't think it will. I end the trade here. So we take it out for like a 2-3 penny loss, which is fine. Not something that I'm worried too much about on here on ZCMD. There's a lot of program selling. It is, it's something that we've observed a lot, right? Where the initial resistance area, let's just say for the sake of example, was at 899. And then it becomes like 892. And then it becomes 840, whatever. So here it is, moving back into 9. Okay, you could have held it for a little bit of a winner there, but resistance again at 9. Now, let me mention a different one. This one started breaking out during the interview. I think that maybe the best trade is behind it here, ZBAO. So another Z name. So not ZCMD, but ZBAO. Shout out to the individual who I forgot. There was actually many of you that did call this one out. I didn't have eyes on it because I was trying to focus on the trade. 41 penny high, dropping into 32. Volume weighted average price just a little bit below 30, right around 29.5. It is putting in higher lows, but it's also got lower highs. So a bit of a compression pattern happening right now. I've really got nothing to do on this one. Oh, come on, ZCMD. Ripping back up into 975. Is there continuation, though? 1079 limit up. Should have held that one, but I didn't like the way that this one was trading. So we forego some profits for some security there. Current area high around 975. That's where they were selling last. Exactly the high, 974. So no prints above that 974 area on ZCMD. I'm going to continue to pack the patience here. I don't want to take too many strikes on this one or too many break-even trades. Let's see if it's able to reestablish trend. Right now, it's got a bunch of bottoming tail candles off that $8, $8.50 area, which is quite bullish, right? Especially how it's holding up that old halt area, 815 or whatever it was. It keeps finding support there with bottoming tail candles. But I don't know. I don't think it's quite ready to go yet. Perhaps saving myself some angst. I may just wait for the breakout and then by virtue of that, of course, get a worse price. That's all right. A-day trading, you didn't like how the cookie crumbled. I didn't, Luis. No, but I got to tell you. Tell me what you think about this, Luis. Is this something that you set up a short in? Or are you looking for a breakdown, maybe below 7, maybe below 8? I know VWAP is one of your levels as well for the short, but that's substantially lowered at 4 1/3. So there's that. I think you're going to have to pack your patience there. Shout out to Chuck of all trades. ZCMD looks like it wants VWAP. Whew. VWAP is like $4.50 from here. So if it wants VWAP, it's probably going to halt multiple times along the way. So keep your eye out on that. I just want to mention a couple of names here. ONDL just broke out. So this is an ONDS leveraged ETF. High of the day goes 850. Nice flat top breakthrough 830. So you're getting a nice move there. This could come back in, test the 30s if you're looking for an entry on this one. Also, just before we go to SIA, KSCP just made a bigger move up. Now it is still below that high of day 217, but it's broken, at least for the moment, that downtrend vis-a-vis this big 5-minute candle here at 11:45. So that is something to watch as well. But I've got nothing on at the moment. I like a lot of things that could set up, but they got to set up in the right way. Let's pause for a second, send you up to see you.
CVX dropping a little bit here, a bit of a downtick. So Chevron's Pasadena refinery had a partial power outage currently on this day, triggering certain safety flares. Just keep an eye out. CVX falling a little bit, was positive on the day when I checked this. Currently, it's also positive, up 0.47%, but just falling a little bit over here on the news that Chevron's Pasadena refinery has had a partial power outage, triggering certain safety flares.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. All right, guys, so we have a couple of things going on. We are looking to add approximately 150% to our position right here. We're posted up at 11.18s. We don't want anything more than that. Now, as for NVDA, guys, this is what I was talking about, Gaurav. Neil, I think you'll like this one there, brother. I was going to actually message you on behalf of this, but we had this nice steady downtrend, and then the downtrend actually breached, and I'm like, all right, let's see if I can get in on the retest of that and a little bit lower. But yeah, those lower highs broken, and then now you have a 1-minute candle sitting on the backside of things. So let's see if we're going to be fortunate enough to get some form of an aggressive pullback and then a retest of the high of the day. Just with the trajectory and the volume that has been displayed in this name, it would be ignorant of us not to try to look to get involved in it, because it's supporting, right? Like, as we typically say, follow it, and then sure enough, boom, as soon as it's cracked, oh my God, oh my land.
What happened?
Nothing, man. It would have been nice there. Should have just took it over there, but I was focused on this name. Focus on the names that aren't running, and then don't focus on the names that are running is apparently my MO today, Sharif, as we are right back towards the high of the day.
Bro.
And the volume, look at the volume step in on this sucker over here. Look at it really uptick there, guys. And this is what we talk about all the time in all seriousness, is effort and result, right? Like the volume is most definitely supporting this engulfing print right here. And we're right back towards the high of the day in the span of 4 minutes. Man, oh man, what a missed opportunity, Gaurav, on this one. And I'm still sitting in this bad boy here waiting for it to get a move back in towards the high of the day. And I'm not even sure we will. Might even form a double top. If that's the case, then we'll be fortunate enough to sit on there. But a pullback through this level. So this thing is going nuts. This is an insane amount of volume. This is going to be, from a 1-minute standpoint, the largest print of the intraday session. And then I don't know what was going up on this previous one. It was displaying that it was relatively high, but this is genuine stuff here, guys. So, I mean, a big time move. Luis Suarez, I know you were looking at that.
I love that name.
Luis Suarez?
Yeah,
because that's that soccer guy, right?
Oh, my Lanta.
My Lanta. There we go, my days on that one. Starting to pull back a little bit, guys, but I don't think you can go wrong with following this volume here today on NVDA. Are you talking NVDL or your ex-NVDA? Well, they're the same thing. One is derived from the other. So if I'm looking at the actual underlying asset, I just use NVDL as my vehicle to trade it because it's a 2x leverage product. Don't get them confused.
Bro, look what happened here. This was probably one of the best outs I've had, man. I took the breakout trade through 10. Look at this. Pops up into 11. Loses the trend into 7.5. I got the hell out of there at 960. So we did end up losing 30 cents per share on that one. But wow, ZCMD. Yeah, we're going to have to steer clear of this one because I figured, $8 a level, breakout level. No, the shorts were just waiting to hunt you if you took that breakout there. But watch out, guys. ZCMD, Bamboozler in Chief, it is certainly not that one that we had yesterday. You can tell that right from the get-go. So things are a light bunch right now. If we're not going to trade ZCMD, we're really only looking at KSCP, ONDL. ADVB was okay, but this is also continuing to put in a downtrend. And then ZBAO. I mean, you lost VWAP, you lost the 10. You're trying to put in a hammer candle now to reclaim trend, but that ain't the look. So as it stands, I got nothing to trade because I won't be trading ZCMD. Unless something fundamentally changes, it breaks out through 11, catches a bid. Clearly, it's not ready to go now. I'm telling you, VWAP on ZCMD, you might be right, brother. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just thinking it's probably going to halt multiple times, given the halt parameters on the way down. It's not going to be a straight line to 450, but you're absolutely right. It could see 450. They usually do at some point in time. Here comes ADVB, though. This one is moseying up into another area high. It just took out the candle at 1130. That was the local area high into 1176. It's showing you 44s, 95s, limit up is 27s. It has trouble with 12. It's had trouble with 12 all day. It got to 13, 17, that is the high, but once it failed it at the 10:30 candle, 12 has been an elusive level. It's up big, it's up 67, 68%, so will be on a lot of people's radars. The volume profile is okay. 12.75 million shares traded on a $12-ish name by around noon. It's not bad. The spread is wide, 10 pennies. That is the main problem with this one. Down goes ADVB into 3/4. This guy. And it could see 11.50 soon. KSCP, I see it. Purple Drink, I see it. 213, 217 high. I've got that on my radar. It's a bit of a slower mover, KSCP. Thank you, though, for pointing that out. Astute call by you. But right now, I was preoccupied with ADVB because it did take out area highs. And again, that area high is the candle on the 5 at 11.30, the high of which was 11.36. This current candle high, the 11.55 candle on the 5, has a high of 11.91. Now, I did see 95 come in on the ask, but I guess that wasn't registered there on the time and sales, so that is not the high of the candle. So that's all I've got at the moment. We're gonna keep a close tab on all these names, but for the moment, Joey, I'm not punching into anything right now.
All right, man. I like the sounds of that. No need to force anything or any form of setup. A little bit of a pullback there. Double top on the 5-minute here on NVDA. I know we've been talking about this name quite often, and the position that I'm looking to double up in. So you can see that we're slightly ITM on this bad boy. And I mean, we just want to add more for that potential move into the high of the day. And this is what I was getting at. We'll get in. Oh, so I already had it up here. I know Adair brought it to you guys bright and early this morning. Wow, what a flush city there on Tesla. Filling that order. Oh, now you want it. Now you want to fill the order, Sharif. All right, I see how it is. Alphabet here today, guys, on the earnings report. Let's pull it up and see what we got going on. I'll keep my eyes on this Tesla trade. Hopefully, we can break through, absorb some liquidity, and then head towards that HOD. But I believe, Adara, what we were talking about here this morning, relatively close expected moves here within Google and Tesla. That is, 5.7%. I mean, if you go into the actual day, it says 3.7%, but relatively close to what we're seeing on Tesla, around 4.9. And I was telling Gaurav this, man, we got to be careful because usually what we see is about 5.3. So things are starting to change now after the open, and sure enough, it will, leading into where we're actually looking at the earnings print themselves. So we'll keep an eye out, and we'll go through a couple more names momentarily, but that expected move, and what we're looking for here, if you're via options trader, is that you want to exceed those expected moves unless you're writing those short straddles, which you wanted to stay within those, and then you can collect the maximum amount of premium. But aside from that, we're looking for it to break and then maybe make a move. Sharif and I both discussing the fact that Tesla is at the exact same levels that it was at half a decade ago. Right, so it makes it a little bit more tougher of a scenario or investment, that is, and I'm hoping that SpaceX doesn't fall into it. I can't wait for this name's earnings report. I think it is the most anticipated public company now, never mind what NVDA has, because over the past 4 quarters, we've been staying inside that expected move. Blowout numbers, but the stock doesn't really move. That could change, right? As soon as you're expecting something different, the market will slap you around with something else, Sharif, and do the complete opposite. But there it goes, off to the races, man. There must be something involving Tesla and or Google with this name, because it's going absolute parabolic, and it's a complete buy program right now. It's not even comical. Like, off to the races it goes. This is beautiful stuff for all of our our NVDA shareholders. Head over to our watch list momentarily, as we unfortunately are in now a 1-minute downtrend here on TSLA. Seen this on the previous report. So if it really starts to pick up Momo to the downside, we get out of dodge on that bad boy.
Oh, you know what's interesting?
What's that?
I know Tesla is not just a pure EV play. I get that, right?
Yeah.
But it would be interesting to make a comparison between Tesla's Tesla's valuation or price at the height of the pandemic, when the EV names had their strongest time, I think, ever, and then compared where Tesla is now relative to where those EV companies are. You know what I mean?
So from a value standpoint?
No, just from a trend standpoint within the sector, right?
Oh,
now,
okay.
I get that Tesla is not just a pure electric vehicle company. They've got many different things, robotics, autonomy. They've got, of course, Optimus now, and a lot of different things are priced in. take, for example, Polestar,
Yeah.
for example, or take Lucid, take Rivian, whichever one you want. You know, Rivian used to be $150 stock, right? Yeah. Right. So that's the thing, right? So I get it's not an apples to apples comparison, but it is a little eye opening to see where the EV companies, EV names were in the height of 21 and where they are now, where Tesla was in 21, where it is now.
These guys came to
it
looks like Rivian came a little bit too late to market.
Sorry, I stand corrected. $190.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a little bit late to the dance, I think, on this one.
Well, it came to market during the height, and then you know what happened.
That's right. So you want to be positioned, like you want to be in the market before COVID, before everyone was sitting at home, punching keys and just like, imagine how easy it was back then, man. Crazy stuff. And then what was another name? Lucid. I mean, in comparison, like, hey man, like if you're like saying, it's like, hey man, if we're gonna crap on the EV names, I see where you're getting at now. It's just like, okay, well look at every other single one. It's not even close.
But BYD really included in that. BYD, you know, when some people would say the king of the EVs.
Yeah.
Because clearly it has more deliveries than Tesla now.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Not even close.
That's the way it is. ZCMD could be on a breakout. Here comes 10 again. Trade this one carefully. 1082 limit up. We're going to see it for happening now. The Neil's lesson of the day.
Let's check the levels of what's going on with the three major averages. The SPY is currently in the green, up 0.14% at the moment. You have the triple Qs. That's a bit towards the downside. I would say almost flattish on the day, just tilting more towards the red. The Dow is up 0.32% with the IWM down, inching close to 0.70%. So two tickers that I want to take a look at right now. RDDT, that's Reddit, has been down since earlier in the day. Also pre-market, it's currently sliding over 9%. You had that news. The Wall Street Journal had reported that we'll discuss further in depth in the news segment that Reddit has discussed shutting off Google's access to its content for AI use. And we're also going to take a look at DAL here, Delta Airlines. So on this headline, the stock didn't move as much, but just something to take a note of is that Delta Cargo introducing a new 5-day flexible date search feature in its booking system. Currently, you have DAL that's down on the day, 0.35%, very minuscule, just something to take a note of. Before we head back to trading, let's send it to Neil for his lesson of the day.
Thank you very much there, Sia. Look, everyone talks about sometimes in the morning, it's choppy, getting chopped up on this or that. Well, you know, if you find yourselves looking like you're in, Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee just sitting up there taking on 100 dudes at the same time, and you feel like you're one of the bros that just one at a time is getting slapped around by him, you know what you could do? You could wait till he's gone and you're facing someone else. And that's part of the problem with the opening part of the opening range, is you will typically have two markets where the open can chop it up or a crazy trend. And sometimes your strategy or what you're looking for requires behavior to be different. I was actually thinking about that NVIDIA, what Joe was saying a little bit. So NVDL is what led me to this. And I'll get to what the symbol I wanted to talk about. But oftentimes it's like when something changes in the market from the pattern it's in is the time to engage. Now, Joe was referencing, obviously, look at all the volume in NVIDIA or NVDL in this particular case. I'm only saying this because this is what he brought up. I could show NVIDIA, it's going to be the same thing. When it broke out of this pullback range, right, like channel down, when it takes that out, it's just right back into the high and channel up. When it was bouncing, yesterday's resistance, VWAP, once this starts to break out, it's just acceleration. It's different behavior that you want to look for. And another reason I came across this was, look at Oracle. Now, this is one of my favorite setups is if you're bearish on something to look for a false break. Oracle does the false break of the prior day high, and it's setting up for a short. But it needs to put in another higher low, and then another higher low, and then right here, it breaks the trend, and then it's different behavior, and you're shorted under VWAP for continuation. Another name which could have gone either direction, and I'll admit, I was looking for it to go in the upside from this, was Lucid. Like Lucid was setting up. It was a breakout from prior highs, there's your top. I wanted it to hold a higher low and then start doing all this good stuff above VWAP. It doesn't. It immediately fails VWAP. So that's a two-way trade. It loses VWAP, ends up in a false break of the prior high, and it turns into a short. You get different behavior from the open at this point when it's off the bid. If it holds VWAP here and then continues higher, then you know you're still working with something that can be a long. But once it loses VWAP, it's like, okay, no, it's the other thing. And like my man Marlo says in one of my favorite scenes of all time, you want it to be one way? You want it to be one way? Well, it's the other way. And it's one of the most, like, it's a poignant line. Now, Marlo, like that dude is cold blood. He's the most pure evil character in The Wire. You watch it, you'll understand that. But he's so right about it. It doesn't matter whether he's right or wrong. The reality of the situation for the gentleman he was talking to was, yeah, the world should be the way that he wanted to see it. He should have been respected in that moment. The gangster shouldn't win and be able to say and do whatever he wants in that particular moment. But it doesn't matter. That's not how it is. And it's the same thing when you get what's going on at that open, where you get a fail break and then you get those lower highs. I can want it to hold this and then turn into that consolidation and breakout like Nvidia, and it doesn't. It loses VWAP. You know, like Nvidia could have been a fail break of the high too, but what happens when it gets to VWAP? It puts in a higher low and then it breaks out the top. If Nvidia loses VWAP in here and continues to lower highs, that can turn into a short as well once you're outside of that opening range. It's the willingness to accept what you've been told in the opening range and then just proceed from there regardless of what your bias was. And if your bias is making you too stubborn to go in the other direction, then just at least get away from it at a bare minimum. And we often talk about the opening range and sometimes setting up the best opportunities. Some people call it the first half an hour or so. Maybe it's a little bit longer or shorter than that for you. But oftentimes what I know is if you ignore when it changes behavior from that first 30 minutes to the next section, you're probably doing so at your peril at a minimum, or you're just missing out on a fantastic opportunity, which may have gone against your own thesis. So you can want it to be one way all you want, but sometimes it's the other way. I'm going to finish it off by telling you the lunch. This is a bit of a weird one for lunch because I'm on the no tilapia menu. So I ended up with like some ground beef and some rice and some vegetables. It's just a pile of ground beef, rice, and vegetables. It's a very plain lunch, but at least it's not tilapia, which I don't even understand how it was tilapia twice in the same week. Well, Darren just walked past, she was like, it's tilapia? Well, I saw tilapia on Rob's plate, and I'm like, okay, good, because I got the beef, so thankfully we don't have to sit through that. Last time we got salmon, so at least we get to switch it up. But it's very, very bland. That's all I have to say about the lunch. Good luck to everyone that's in that Nvidia. That thing is an absolute barn burner today. This market, it'll chop you up completely flat on the NASDAQ, but it is a bit of a recovery. Let's see if it can push through some of those highs. Always listen when the market's trying to tell you something.
All right, guys. VinFast continues to expand beyond vehicle sales this week. VinFast India partnered with Shriram Finance to support EV financing access, while Green SM launched all-electric ride-hailing in Kazakhstan with VinFast VF6 vehicles, ladies and gentlemen. Together, these moves highlight VinFast's broader mobility ecosystem strategy. You can find them on the NASDAQ under ticker VFS. All right, guys, we got our substantial. Now Joey? This is the largest position of the day, Sharif.
Of ever?
No, not of ever. No, of the day. Of what is today, the 22nd?
Yes, sir.
Of July. Yeah, it's the largest position of the 22nd of July. Let's see if we can break. And I'm telling Gord, man, this is painstaking. The jitters, I'm like, Sharif, I got too much caffeine in my system. Only had one today, but no, in all seriousness, we're looking for this pivot to break, and it's just truly not doing so. There's a difference, and if you really hone in and focus on the price action itself, you'll be able to identify what's strong. I mean, this sounds so obvious, but when you get into the nitty-gritty and the detail, is that when you see a specific underlying in a steady uptrend, and every time it dips lower, it's immediately met at the ask, okay? And buyers step right in and push price higher, and this will help you identify strength. We're not seeing that right now. It's being a prolonged buy. So what happens is it sells off. The sellers have the ability to push price a little bit lower, and then minutes later, not like within that specific candle itself, you're seeing the buyers start to step back in. So what I'm looking for here is that somebody's going to get, as Sharif would say, decimated. Someone's going to lose this battle. And for some, I want to...
They're going to kill him, Joey.
Andrew style over here, Sharif.
Autonomous.
Yeah, autonomous. Let's see what he's got going on here. Because I'm about to autonomy over there and find out who keeps pushing price down here in Tesla. No, but in all seriousness, what we do have going for us is clearly a supply zone at 378, but we're holding an uptrend. Now, which one is going to give first? I don't like the fact that we had a strong morning opening drive and then we were met by some pretty hefty defense, boom, flush, and we have yet had the ability to reclaim this high of the day. This is the key moment. NASDAQ's at the high of the day, and some of the other Mag 7 peers are at the high of the day, and we have Tesla. Now let's look at it from a bigger picture. Look where we're sitting. Again, we talk about this. It's not to crap on the company, but it is back at levels that it was a half a decade ago, all right? So now we're in this downtrend and we haven't broken it. So, I mean, we may not be putting ourselves in the right place at the right time, but let's hold on and let's not get too ahead of ourselves to see if this downtrend breaks. Once VWAP is broken and held to the sell side, then the thesis may be invalid.
Brother, Rajarayan, or however your name is pronounced, you got to cool it with the spamming, brother. I don't want to ding you. I don't want to time you out, but you're kind of, I get meta reversal. We're going to read it out so you can, okay. Ram just, she doesn't wait, right?
Yeah,
I was going to wait, but Ram didn't wait, right?
Get him out of there.
Okay, sorry. All right.
Oh, Anna.
What happened?
Okay, Anna got the 1.8K. Who's that?
You don't know who Anna Kournikova is? Well,
No.
Okay, I'm ancient, but that's fine. It's fine. Neil, you remember Anna Kournikova? Yes. No, well, Adara.
He was with Enrique Iglesias for years and years and years, and I
didn't know that.
an Enrique fan in my youth. So yeah, shout out to Anna.
I know Korolova.
In your youth? Adara, you're like in your 20s. I wouldn't say that you're
I know Korolova. Do you know do you know Korolova?
I don't. Is she a tennis player?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is she?
A DJ.
A DJ?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Man, did you hear about Black Coffee? Ripped it up here, man. Everybody was going to this guy's concert.
Black Coffee?
Yeah. You know about the DJ? I thought you were into that.
No. I've been to one rave in my life.
Anyway, all my friends went.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't go.
Oh.
But it was supposed to be pretty good. I think they did it on the island too, so it was nice.
That's always a good time.
Yeah, it was pretty good. All right, man. Scott H, I like that.
Scotty.
I met and got a pie. What? Like literally, right? Like we're not talking metaphor here or innuendo or anything like that. Okay. There you go. Shout out to my man Scott H there. Guys, we're in ADVB right now. We're looking for a move into 12. And we've got 43s on. It's zigging. It's zagging. It's above the 10 EMA. It's having trouble closing above 1150. It does wick up into the 60s, the 70s. I do get the beak wet there, but I'm not looking for this trade just to be, a range beak wetting trade. I'm looking for it to move above 12, man. So let's hurry up, ADBV. No, I'm kidding, of course. Let's see how this one trades. I do want to defend into 11. There it goes into 75, 81. Do we have a breakout on our hands? The answer is no. Look at the spread opening up. 81 on the bid, 51 on the ask. That's criminal. There it goes into 12. Give me my money, man. Let's go. Into 1190, fails. Again, down into 2/3. Looking for a little bit more. We've got a beak wetter there north of 12 to test liquidity to see if it can actually print anything above the level, something I often do with small share size. Let's pause. Let's send it up to the big desk.
Yeah, I have some intel here on the Clarity Act, and this is coming from reports from Eleanor Tarrant. I've mentioned her before. She's pretty well known and pretty well respected in the space. Crypto journalist here, posts a lot on X. Crypto America is where she's a journalist and host for. So basically, she's saying there were a couple changes, I guess, here in the new updated version of the Clarity Act released by Senate Republicans. Now, the biggest things here, I think, is the ethics package. This was negotiated recently with Senator Cynthia Lummis of Wyoming, and Senator Bernie Moreno of Ohio, both of whom are known for their crypto knowledge and enthusiasm. So apparently this ethics package does not have sign off from any Democratic senators yet, but it'll ban in part the president, vice president, members of Congress, federal judges, and other officials and spouses from issuing or sponsoring digital assets during their time in office. It also requires officials that are covered by those provisions to either sell their crypto holdings and investments or place them in a blind trust, or both. There's going to be a lot more oversight here in terms of members of government owning crypto. Again, this has not yet been fully approved, but keep an eye on the crypto space as we hear these reported elements of the new Senate Republican-backed Clarity Act revisions. Back to you.
So I just showed Joey Anna Kournikova, and I want to show her in her youth, right? So I put age 25, and then like the first thing he said, do you guys agree with this? She looks like Jennifer Lawrence. I don't agree with that. But
pull the picture back up.
Should I pull up? Hold on. Let me just resolve this trade because we did get a beak wet above 12, Joey. So we got 12.01, and the current candle high is 12.03. I have 11.41 on. It's stair-stepping up, but there's a ton of resistance between 11.5 and 12, and it continues to be that way. However, that's the bad side of the equation. What's the good side? Well, if there is one, we're putting it in a bit of an upward channel. Ever since testing that $9.75, $10 area between 10.50 and 11.10, we have been putting in higher highs and higher lows. Do we reach 13? 13.17 is the high of the day. That's why I mentioned it. I don't know, but I'm still looking at defending the 10 EMA at the 5, which is 11.25. So I had my DCA plan, DCA that is, right at, oh wow, this thing is losing it in a hurry. Here it is. Probably should add here. Yeah, there we go. We're going to add into there, Joey. That gives me a lower cost basis into 37, and it moves up right back into 42. Anything below, what's it called? $11, I'm going to have to stop out because that would be a loss of trend. But I'm looking at defending the 10 EMA, as I just mentioned. So let's see if we can mosey on up there, Joey.
All right, man. Good stuff. New high of the day here with NVDA, 214.06. Man, this thing is going absolutely nuts. Tell us what you got going on there, Goggles. Man, oh man. Today is it's been a different one. I don't know. Like again, I hate complaining about this stuff, but it's really grinding my gears right now as I'm just sitting in this trade, and there's no reason for me to get out. It's just not doing anything. Like break through the resistance. Like I told you, this is the most amount of size. It just doesn't want to go, but yet the rest of the market is moving higher and higher. It's like a mosquito when you're sleeping in your room. It's just like, man, it's like, man, oh man, I don't know. And there it goes. It's gonna break. Like there it goes. It breaks. Okay, yeah. Just the more that I talk about it, you can see that I'm getting frustrated. I'll take a small W on this, and I'm removing it from my chart because I am really starting to get agitated. So I have to find something else. Maybe again, it's too far for me to trade NVDL, but it's just so frustrating. Okay, as of now, I'm going to stop complaining about it and stop letting it get to me. I just need to find something to put on the other side chart here. How are the banks doing today? Let's get this hot garbage over here. Yeah, we'll figure that out. But yeah, you can see it on my face. Like I was really starting to just, I don't know why, man. It's just one of those days where I'm just
Look
like.
what Neil said to you in the chat, bro.
What'd he say?
You read that NVDL tape like a book, bro.
I know. I don't know why I'm not in that one here when I'm over here messing around with Tesla. I don't know why I make decisions like that. It's just pour a little bit more salt in the old wound there. As for the SPY and some of the banks, guys, let's take a look at what we got going on here. Up 1% on JPM. Oh, Sharif, yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Almost all-time highs here in JPM. That's a pretty good look there, guys. Only a fraction of a percentage off of that level there. And then we're not too far as we continue to creep. Like, what an absolute monster day in some of these other names. We had a strong session in the memory storage. How are we performing today? Robinhood down a percentage point, and C3AI, I don't even know why we're talking about that. But Ondas putting in a big-time session, 10% to the top side, man. One of the better performers on our chart. And Sharif was also mentioning Dell. Look at Dell up 10 1/3. SMCI still holding on to strength, up 26%. Let's go, man. Keep smuggling those chips to China, and sure enough, you can get a nice session like this. I mean, it is crazy, but it is what it is, man. Google up about 0.4% here. Let's send it over to the desk.
We're going to start the small cap by taking a look at 3 tickers. So first one being HTZ right now. Hertz Global Holdings, that's up above 9%, trying to position itself as the backbone of the Robo-Taxi business. So this company, Hertz, has recently launched a new business unit called Oro Mobility to manage and service a range of fleets, including ride sharing as well as autonomous vehicles. So there's a statement coming in from the CEO of the company, Gail West, who's told Axios that we're not a tech company, nor should we be, but we've got 100 years of experience owning and managing large fleets. So that's that. We're going to also take a look at QMLS here, down over 28% on the day. QMLS AI has signed an $18 million 2-year take-or-pay agreement to supply Nvidia with Blackwell B300 nodes to a GPU cloud marketplace used by AI teams in more than 100 regions worldwide. And finally, RGEN, Repligen Corporation, will be buying BioLife Solutions for $1.5 billion. The stock is up just a bit over 2%.
Got out of that.
I want to mention something quick.
Yeah, for sure. Good. I just want to say, how did okay. All right, yeah, I mean, I took a loss somehow on that Tesla trade, but it started to sell off a little bit there. So, yeah, that's it. We're done with that name.
All right, guys, ZCMD is about to take out $11. Be careful. Here comes. It's breaking out again. It's got higher lows. It's got higher highs. $11 resistance. It's had issues with 11 all day. But the individual in the chat, who was that, was asking there about Oracle. I did see this, and this wasn't a good headline. I'm just trying to see who it is. The Bruce, yes, I have this headline here. Estee Lauder discloses data breach from Oracle EBS hack. So that's not something that you really want to be known for. So ORCL below VWAP right now at about 125, 126 and change. That's what I see here. You can screenshot it if you want. Read the article there. Estee Lauder discloses data breach from Oracle EBS. I did see some other headlines today from... I think there was an OpenAI headline. Does this have anything to do with Oracle? Let me just see here. No. Oh, it does. OpenAI's approach to Stargate has changed. Originally conceived. No, it's not. It's not something with that. So that's all I see with respect to that. There was some earlier stuff. Elizabeth Warren, OpenAI. No. It's just maybe some OpenAI adjacent news. Cloud spending $750 billion. This, that, and the other. But nothing really to write home about there. So. And we're going to be talking about OpenAI at some point. I don't know if Sia is going to put it on the news, but I'm going to speak about it anyway because Altman took to X yesterday to disclose that they had an incident with one of their latest models. And it hacked. It was supposed to be kind of enclosed into a sandbox, if you know what the term means. Essentially, you're trying to block out the program that you're running so it doesn't go on the internet, it's just in that kind of very constrained environment, and you set up the parameters for that environment. So it broke out of the sandbox. It figured a way to get internet access, and then it went haywire. It hacked into Hugging Face. I'll give you my opinion on it later, but in any event, Altman yesterday taking to X, and I read the entire little play-by-play that OpenAI published, which is interesting because it shows that at least with the article that OpenAI released, it shows you that their latest models really are possibly here discovering new software vulnerabilities that haven't been caught by Mythos and by Fable and by some of the other frontier models. So I think that Altman was doing a little advertising there for his company while he was disclosing that breach. So I don't think Altman is putting some stuff out there so people think it's real AI is close. That's exactly what I was going to say. PSI Vert 1984, that was my suspicion as well. I think OpenAI is definitely hurting for some positive news lately, and I think that certainly would have helped them a little bit. But that's just my take there. I don't have any evidence. Georgie, 22, he dropped 10 Trader TV Live memberships, Blunder Corp, Crypto Monster 8885, Brud Bond, El Captain 6248, M Jassani, and Gil Navarro Roaring 2020s, love that. Caden your something, and Jughead Yankee Frankly, Bullish Signals. All of you guys got free Trader TV Live memberships. And so you can mosey on over now to the YouTube homepage for Trader TV. Super simple. Just, click whatever link you have there, and mosey on over here, and then you'll see the tabs on the top. Home, video, shorts, live. Click posts, mosey on down. Right there, it says members only. You're only going to see that if you're a member. Click read more, and you can get my morning note every single morning. Let's see what the Tesla TA was today. So Tesla trading at 376 with a high of 380 and a low of 374. Oh boy, look at this. 380, immediate resistance. 375, first support. So right off the bat, the note got it. Now the trading plan. Watch whether Tesla can reclaim 380 to 385. Failed. 380.17. Following earnings. Holding above those levels could trigger momentum buying, while losing 375 may invite another round of selling. What's the low? 374.93. The morning note got that one bang on. So shout out to the morning note. Get your morning note every single morning, 7:30, 7:45. That's when it's put out, Joe.
All right, let's see if we can find something else here. I mean, I don't see anything at all that I like, so it just might be one of those days, Wednesday, where it's just after 2 o'clock, we just get out of here and just go touch. I literally will go kick rocks right now, to be honest with you. Lockheed Martin, Carvana, Hims, eBay, Chewy. Some of these names, a lot of red across the boards, a little positivity like TKO Holdings, not doing too bad. I believe we got a price target increase here today. And then also, what is it, Alibaba? So some of these ADRs not looking too horrible here today. A nice little recovery, especially there on the weekly. A nice bounce off of that $90 low all the way up to $123. CrowdStrike now down to 187. Watch out for this, man. Down 14% off of the highs. Pan W down 2% today, but not as much. I don't think it's down as much off of the all-time highs as CrowdStrike is. Only 9.25 there. And then we have Zscaler, a name. Has it found any form of a bottom just yet? Close. I mean, 118 gets an uptick up to 154, but the bigger time frame and picture is a little bit more difficult to look at. Now, as for some of the memory names, I know we're all about DRAM and Western Digital and SanDisk. A quiet one here today. I don't know if this is going to be the one where the move that we just completely snap this downtrend and then maybe go and test the highs. It may take a little bit more, but also heading into earnings season, right? So I think a lot what the hyperscalers are up to are going to determine the next potential move within these names. We know the bottleneck's there, and it's going to be there for the next couple of years. Dang. It's just a matter of maybe so the big question for me, I think, during this earnings report is Amazon, Google, Meta, and Microsoft. CapEx, are we increasing? Is it remaining flat, or are they going to cool it down? I think that's going to be a massive teller of where we go in the near future, that is. Adara, or see, what do you have?
Yeah, just be aware, guys. We are at this point just waiting for this AMD keynote to begin. Again, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. We are expecting this keynote to kick off. I will keep you guys posted as to what occurs. Apparently, this keynote is now actually happening tomorrow, so just be aware here, guys. If we get it, I'll keep you posted. I was initially seeing Wednesday. Now I'm seeing Thursday. Stay posted. Stay tuned. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Adara. Sites. Iran threatens energy sites. Okay, I don't know if this is sold or not. If U.S. hits power plants, that's being reported by Tansim. All right, well, fantastic. That's going to be a nice expansion there of the conflict. Yeah, I don't have anything right now, guys. I got to tell you. Sitting here without much to trade because nothing's really giving me the signal. So we're going to sit on our hands and just pack the patience here. I do have a dip trade on ADVB at 1088. I feel like this is an ascending wedge pattern. I could be wrong. It's got a lot of resistance at 12, so I'm going to bottom pick. And I thought, I'm looking at 1088. Let's see if that picks up. Chain Reactor, F3C. Palantir. Is it over, boys? Is it time to get out since the correction news? Let's have a look at the TA, man. Let's bring in the side chart over here. Pardon me. Oh, where's my side chart, Joey? Oh, I think it's over here. Oh, little weasel. It went on the other screen. You see that, Assassino? It ran away from me, brother. PLTR. Let's have a look, brother. Let's flip to the 4 hours so we can get a bit of a wider time frame. Okay, so we're very much in that consolidative range. Take a look at how much we've been interacting with that $135 area, a little above it, a little bit below it, right? What I don't like, though, so in a range since maybe April, maybe even before, actually, let's just say from February onwards. But this is the bigger trend. Look at this, the lower highs, right? We got that area high. I think that's all-time highs, if I'm not mistaken, back in November. Lower high, lower high, lower high. So that is the problem. And by the same token, you can connect those lower lows as well. So a bit of a downward channel on Palantir. All right, let's flip to the daily. And the daily doesn't look a whole lot better. You can even move up that trend line a little bit to connect a little bit cleaner. So that downtrend is very much, you know, I would say, why does my Palantir only start in December of 2024? Does that happen to you as well? What the hell, belly?
Because it switched from the NYSE to the NASDAQ.
Oh, that's right. Thank you, Adira. That's right. Well, why doesn't it show me the previous price action? What am I supposed to do with that? 125 could be an interesting support level. In fact, it's shown to be multiple areas of support, despite the fact that it lost it over here. Let me make my case here. 125 resistance, 1, 2, 3, 125 support. Again, 4, 125 support. Loses it. Oh, no, right back above 125. So that 125 area, key level, at least on the daily. I mean, your question still remains, right? Is it time to get out? Well, the downtrend is prevalent here. So unless you have some sort of thesis that we take out 160 again decisively, I'd say, yeah, take some profits. And if it regains trend by putting an upward channel, have at it. But right now, it's an unmistakable downward channel. We're going to pause. We're going to go to see it for Sector Watch.
The SPY is currently up 0.21%. Let's take a look at what is going on with the market right now, starting with electric tech. You have Nvidia up 3%, Apple towards the downside, 1% here. Sorry about that. You have AVGO up 2.2%, Micron flat on the day, with INTC also flat on the day. We have names like AMD up 2%. We have news on AMD. Stay here, don't go anywhere for the news segment. Cisco up 0.69%. You have GE, RTX, SNDK, ANET up considerably. Sorry about that. But if you compare it with yesterday's rally, I would say not that much of a surprise here. Dell currently up 10.4% as well. Marvell up over 2.5% with TXN up 1.4%. Tech services, you have Google flat on the day, Meta down 2.3%, Microsoft down 2.2% with Oracle also sliding further down, Palantir down more than 4.5%. Netflix, however, not a bad look, because you can see all the names in this sector in the red, a bit bearish here. Netflix is standing considerably strong, up 2% on the day. PANW down 2.2% with IBM also sliding towards the downside. In finance, we have a couple of names. BRKB, MasterCard, Visa, all trading flat at the moment. BAC, I would say up 1% almost on the day, nothing too crazy, with JPM also up very close to 8%. You have MS up over 1%, inching closer to 1.5%, and GS also up 1.3%. However, in finance, you have Coin. I'm trying to find Coin at the moment. Sorry, give me 1 second. Anyways, Coin settled the US SEC with the US SEC over the FOIA lawsuit. I am very sorry. My eyes, I need glasses. Retail trade, you have Amazon down over 1%, Walmart down over 1% as well, Costco also down very close to 1%, Home Depot, TJX, however, trading flat at the moment. You have producer manufacturing. We had GEV report earlier before the bell rang. We'll discuss technicals in the new segment, but it's currently down 7% on the day. You have other names like AMAT, LRCX, technically flat, but tilting a bit towards the red. CAT up 1.3%. Consumer non-durables, you have Coca-Cola, PG, PM all up, with PM also reporting before the bell today, up 3.6%. PEP flat at the moment. You have energy minerals, XOM, CVX up on the day. XOM is up over 1.5%. Health tech, Lilly down 1.2%, J&J up 2%. That's a good look over here for J&J. ABBV flat at the moment, with MRK trading a bit above 1% mark. Consumer durables, Tesla super flat on the day, with GM up 4.5% and Ford up over 8%. Health services, consumer services, transportation, and process industries with commercial. Lots of mixed sentiment over here. I'm seeing a lot of names trying to catch up, but currently just trading flat. Nothing crazy going on over here. And finally, we have consumer non-durables. I covered this sector. I'm going to take a look at communications. You have T that also reported pre-market today. They're up 2.8%. We'll discuss technicals in the news segment. TMS flat, VZ up over 1%. Echo also trading flat at the moment. And finally, health services, UNH lagging a bit, down 0.73%. And DGX, the only name a little bit in the green in this sector, up very less, tilting towards the green. Every other name trading either in the red or a little bit flat. Finally, non-energy, you have NEM and FCX up over 3%, and that's all for your sector watch.
Your boy Joey Options is looking at a small cap. I like that. Get it, Adam. My man, Adam James, frickin' abroad. ADBV. Boom. Right into the high. We took this one with you, Adam. Right when I saw the decisive break of 12, I punched in like a degen. No, because 12 had been the elusive level all day. I only wish I got my 1088s because I did have a resting order there south of 11 because that's where it keeps finding support. There it goes into area highs, 87s. There has been a lot of selling in the high 80s. I kept yelling to Joey, watch out, 88 seller, right? And there it keeps selling into that area. Now, the thing is, it does show 90s on the ask, but I don't actually see 90s coming in on the time and sales. So that is a bit of an elusive level. So I think we're looking at 13 in the same way here that we looked at 12. So shout out to my man, Adam James abroad. He had the patience, the compunction, and the money to punch into ADBV. Shout out to my man, doing it live, of course, in Vancouver Island. Don't tell him he's in Vancouver City, though, because, you know, he doesn't like that.
City.
Right. Although I saw that he did make his way over to the city there, you know. He took the ferry. From the island to the city.
To Horseshoe Bay?
I don't know actually where he went, man.
That's most likely the route.
That's most likely the route, eh? All right. All in ADBV. Get it, Ozan. Joe's right. I was out, but I got back in. That's my man. All right. So here's what we're looking at, guys. We're looking at ADBV right now, okay? And I want to hold a 12. So if it comes in to test 12, we're looking to pick some up, man. So let's go ahead. Put in maybe a dip trade here near 12 bucks, give or take. Let's see what we get on that one. I also should mention that KSCP also made a high of the day. It got into 222, so be on the lookout here. But I also want to come back to ADBV for a second. If this one breaches 13 or gets into that 13 area, don't forget that we failed 13 initially, 13, 17 high. I would also be looking for possibly that kind of same accumulation at 13 that we saw at 12. Like, look at what it did with 12. I mean, it was basically ranging there from 11:55 to the breakout at 12:30. All the pops into 12 rejected. And I'll submit to you probably even before that, 11:30, it was making its attempts into 12. So ADBV should be in focus here for the small cap gapper incline because God knows there's really not much else. So that's a look, Joe.
All right, good stuff here. Yeah, we got our eyes on this name as well, too. I mean, I just figured, I was like, all right, I didn't want to film it right here. I'll get into a little bit, just wait for this pullback. And then this is where we have the majority of our size. So this is going to be a big factor in the determiner of where our day is going to be headed for the remainder. Now, I'm focused on some of this small cap momentum. Let's see if we can get ADVB to get rocking and rolling here for us. And then sure enough, off to the races we can go. I probably had an unhealthy amount of shares on initially, and then I came to the realization and to my senses that I probably shouldn't do that because just in case it did pull back multiple cents pretty quick, it would not be good, and we don't want to do that whatsoever. So we'll post up here. You can see we're at the lower end of the range here on NVDA. If this gets rocking, if we get that fill and then we get it, 30, 40 cent pop, there it is. All right, let's go.
Get it, Joey.
Boom,
whoa! I'm with you, bro, on that. Boom, man. We got 56.
That's what I'm talking about. Don't fail, man.
Give me my damn money. Let's go. Watch out for the failure.
He's decimated, Sharif. He's decimated.
Oh, my days.
All right, that's what I'm talking about, my boy. Oh, yes, sir. Just
Limit
like
up
that.
1402. Limit up 1402.
Don't forget, this is your boy, Joey O, in the house, just like that. After a session where it was just super duper frustrating, one trade, and so, oh no, Oh no, I
Bro,
bought way too
you're
many.
$1 in the money. Relax, man.
I bought
Relax.
too many.
You're fine. No,
I'm good. Yeah, we crushed that. That was absolutely monstrous. We crushed that.
Attaboy,
Remove the
Joey.
order on that bad boy. I don't even have it up on the chart.
Get it, Joey. 14.33 limit up.
You know what Conor McGregor once said,
say,
right?
Joey?
Surprise, surprise, the king is back. No, I'm joking, man. We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We'll pull that up here on this one. That was a nice little momentum.
Bro. That was a good look.
Who is that? ADVB. Yeah, dude. If I had the amount of shares in which I originally punched on, it would have been an unhealthy amount, to be honest with you. And
well, I think
it's
you
just
probably would have been like jumping around, right?
Yeah. I would have to probably.
Remember House of Pain? Do you know about House of Pain? Jump around. Jump around.
I did. Sia or Dare would have to fill in for me.
Bro, House of Pain is like before.
What is this ticker that I'm trying to type in here? ABVD. Yeah, that was a big time move, man. Yeah, we're happy about that, and we held through that. So now all we need, bang! Look at that punch. As soon as the Momo steps in, where'd you get in? You get on the Momo? I seen the volume.
I had a bit of a bet. I had a really good price. I had 12.5.
I seen the tape hit, and I'm like, oh, bang! Off to the races we go. We punch. We get in at a pretty good price, and then I was like, no, I can't take it all off. I have to try to ride this this train a little bit longer. A nice little move. Now we're just kind of in a bad position with NVDL. So if this gets any strong upticks, maybe we just eliminate it and just relax a little bit. We're gonna hop into the news in a matter of moments, and it's probably best off if I do so, right? Because you guys seen that. I'm full disclosure, man. I'm human too. Oh. So I have those days where I get that. Yeah, well, I know, right? It's crazy. It's a thing.
That's Miami Dave. It is actually House of Pain as well. Here's the video, man. Jump Around by House of Pain, 1992. So very, very old. A little bit. But I don't know if, which you're talking about there. Size. But it is by House of Pain. So 14.16 high, Joey, right now on ADBV. But this one already came in and tested 13. So you could already have some 13, low 13 holders right now that are defending that level. I'm going to keep a close eye on it. I want to see exactly what this one does. It's up 93%. By the way, ZCMD bleeding its own blood down.
Oh, there it goes.
The other one goes to the high side options, man. 1471 limit up on this one, but there it goes back above 14. Does it have the juice to hold 14? What are you seeing on your side, bro?
Yeah, hey, man, that was a nice continuation, right? Like, we're looking at a perfect, almost a picture-perfect ABCD pattern. On this name, we've seen it once. It happened again in a strong uptick into 1450, and the momentum in the tape is clearly working in our favor. So not too horrible of a look there, ladies and gentlemen. A nice entry on the volume. Listen, that's how I got onto this trade. Is like, okay, if we're gonna consolidate and not break down, at what point is the volume in the tape gonna display that? And that's why I was like, all right, there it is, boom, off to the races we go. And it was the exact same narrative, except for your risk to reward all the way up here is a little bit different in my opinion. So now as for NVDA, I reduced my size by half because as soon as it cracks that low, we're gonna just get out of Dodge. But hey man, one trade, we took 3 losses apparently here on Tesla. One trade on this ADVB puts us right back into Greensville, USA. But now we're just posted up here on NVDL. I have no issues. If we don't have the buyer step in relatively soon and it cracks 33.60, no need for me to hold on to this. Man, that's the thing and what I was going on about the spiel. Look at that. Oh, look at that rug pull right there. Bro. Listen to what I was saying earlier this morning.
Get it, Joe.
As a trader, it would be ignorant for you not to add more arrows into your quiver. Why? Because if something isn't working for you, then you go over into a different sector. Halt down, Shree.
Limit freaking down.
It's going down. It's over. And then here and there it is. We're all out of NVDL. We're going to walk away positive.
Offering, man.
So there it is. Boom. See you later. We're still green on the day regardless of what happened. I went 0 for 4 on large caps. 1 for 1 here on these small caps. And we're in Greensville, USA.
Greensville, USA.
That's it. I'm done.
US of A. Yeah, that is a bad one, guys. And that is a big move down. We're halted down on both names now. ZCMD, ADBV, they are both bleeding their own blood to the downside. 750 or thereabout halt on ZCMD. And where are we at right now? 1227 halt. So let me just give you both. 751 on ZCMD and 1227 on ADBV. Shout out to Adam. $19 gap on weekly if it clears 14 well. Do agree with that, Adam. But you'll see here, just given your own parameters, it didn't clear 14 well. One closing print, I believe, right at 14 or a little bit below, right there. And then you have the wick through 1441, but it failed. ZCMD's open 780. It's probably going to have trouble with low 8s because that's the halt level. So I anticipate that halt level that I think we were like halted for 20, 25 minutes, something like that. That could be a problem there for the long, so be on the lookout for that. But a lot of volatility, my days. Right now on the small cap gapper. Shout out to everybody who's trading these and trading them well. It is a bamboozling day, man. Random oddities. You guys should trade the smuggle cap. Smuggle cap.
What's that?
SMCI.
SMCI, the smuggle
I just try
cap.
to stick to the small caps. Nothing but I want to swing a lot of these right in the personal account as well. So
for sure.
But never on. Well, I shouldn't say never. It's been a couple of years now though that have just been exclusive to small caps. We used to trade large caps.
Just buy, just own the large caps.
Own the large caps, yeah.
Own the large caps. A lot of people saying that the small caps might outpace. The Rust might outpace.
We talked about this.
Might outpace the
Take a look at that. So those are all the indexes.
It's the best performing one, man.
Yeah, man. DIA, 9.79 year to date. Qs, 15.44. SPY, 10.24. I'm talking about year to date percentage up. And then far and away the best, IWM, 19.89. So essentially 20% year to date on the small cap.
That's pretty good, man.
Sneeze that.
Before we send it over to the desk, just trying to kind of correlating our play here. You see how I always talk about the high of the day break? I noticed that these small caps tend to do this pattern quite often.
ABCD?
No, like a high of the day break. So what it'll do is it'll form a pivot, sell off, do whatever it's doing, and then make its way back, and then punch through the previous pivot high. And that's just kind of the idea. That's why I was looking at it here and just keeping my focus on it, because this was a high quality setup. Just a punch through that, you scalp it out, and it's just like you get in and you get out. Someone pushed price relatively high, and then boom, sure enough, we go from 1270 all the way up to 1332, and then we take some out our last bit out there at 1374. So pretty good one there for us. And then I mentioned that it hasn't been the best of our sessions for the large caps. How is Tesla even doing, Gorb? I have no idea. I told myself that I wasn't going to look at it, but there it is. That's how you turn that ship around there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's send it off to the desk.
Let's talk money markets. You have the pound right off the bat holding steady against the dollar, currently around $1, 1.3369 to be very precise, due to a softer than anticipated inflation reading that has done little to alter certain market expectations for interest rate hikes later this year. Oil prices, however, have jumped. We do know a geopolitical uncertainty is continuing to persist across the markets. We're going to talk about oil in the news segment as well. So you have the pound currently trading flat at $1.03 after depreciating for the last 4 sessions. It has weakened 0.2% against the euro, however, remained on pace for a 1% rise in this month. Let's take a look at the Indian rupee and what is it doing. The Reserve Bank of India has sold a net $6.1 billion in the foreign exchange market as of May. Data has come in today, so that's what's going on here. The reason for this being a sharp rise in oil prices due to the Iran war that has sent rupee to an all-time low, currently at 96.5 region. Finally, the dollar, the DXY, currently down on the day 0.05%, if that matters anyway. It's around the 101.1 mark. It opened at 101.057, currently sitting at 101.141. Not that big of a difference over here, but let's see how it does later in the day.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Open, ADVB open. Careful, guys. All right, as Adam pointed out, though, this one is still holding 12. So the 10 EMA on the 5 is around 12. Be careful with this one. If it fails, it's going to be a lot of trouble. Joey, what do you got?
Yeah, there goes like a strong 50-cent push down just like that. Keep your eyes on the tape here, ladies and gentlemen. If that continuously remains weak,
down 1080.
There to 1080, you have that area 1080. Okay, that's that's not too far away actually. Right around the volume weighted average price there. So we'll keep our eyes on it, but some strength stepping in on the tape. Now, with that being said, you want to wait for a price to turn around before you get involved with it. I wonder if Luis is going to be coming up momentarily, and I'm sure that guy is a stat keeper, that's for sure. Now, I wonder what the probability is of once you've halted down to halt down again. So multiple halts after one, because we see it in the opposite direction, right? There it is. It might go here. Oh man, oh man. No, I shouldn't. I really want to dabble in this. If price turns around, I think there's going to be a good opportunity at $12. Dips into $11.50, but we want to see that Momo change. If a 1 minute candle opens up on the back side of this, there it goes. Yeah, boom. You might get a little bit of a pop, guys, but start relatively small just in case it does capitulate. I know Sharif. There it is.
I'm in it at 11.86, guys.
There you
Watch
go.
out here.
Nice move there. Nice move there. It was quick, man. Right back down there.
Bro. Yeah, exactly. Right back down. I stop out below the $0.50. We're going to try this, right? We're going to give this a try into that $12 area, as Adam was saying, and I do agree with what Adam was saying. If this can decisively hold 12, this could be a good trade, but if it fails below, we got to draw the line somewhere, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And so that's what I'm going to keep my eye on. Showing 92 right now on the bid, 88 on the bid. It's dropping, 92 back again. So zagging right at that $12 area. I did get a couple of beak wetters through that $0.25 and the $0.50, but the one at 69, Ozan, continues to go unfilled. So we're going to keep an eye on this one, Joey.
Yeah, absolutely. I just don't like.
Good here.
There. Good call out there. Still above, still positive on that out there, Sharif. Looks like it might break down here, to be honest with you. Hangry Wife. To be honest, I'm just not very good at trading SMCI. I've tried it on multiple occasions, and for some reason, I just always get taken to the cleaners. Oh, there's a nice strong uptick there, Sharif. Let's see what happens here. We don't want to get lured in either, just in case it doesn't want to do its thing and it's just chopping around before it breaks down. But hey, anything can happen with these bad boys. Nice strong uptick there, so maybe the ship's starting to turn around. But yeah, Hangry Wife, it's got a tight spread, but I know there's a lot of whales on it. Yeah, to be honest with you, I was never good at trading, and I've tried it on multiple occasions. Did you notice the inside day setup on ADVB yesterday? No, brother, I didn't. I wasn't even looking at it yesterday. Sharif mentioned it here today, and I seen Adam James was trading it, and then I seen a bull flag. So what I was looking for in particular was just a high of the day break. That's why I was focused on it. So when I have the large caps not working for me, or the mega caps, and I start scanning around and I see the potential setup, then that's what really led me to this name, really. Other than that, I'll sway to them when my large cap system isn't working, which was in full effect today. Adam James, thank you, brother, for that one. First, we'll get to the super chat.
Yeah.
I've become a better, more patient trader, having learned many expensive mistakes. Taking profits on the way up is #1 lesson now. Trader TV for lifer. Everyone put hold on. We put ones in the chat. Let's put 4s in the chat.
But
put the 4 in.
An unlucky number, bro. I'm putting 8.
But it's 4 lifer. It's not 8 lifer.
Oh man, but
Put the 4s in the chat. Everyone 4. You draw the 4. Yeah, we got the 4s in the chat. See, I don't see you putting the 4s in the chat.
Yes,
Let's even get the 4 in the chat there.
There you go,
there you go, Chuckaball Trades. You're 3, so I don't know what 3 is. Mike Peter Ryder is easily a 4. He might be the biggest 4 out there next to Casey.
Whoa. It's coming in fast and furious.
The 4s, yeah, man. Sure, put the 4s up, everybody. No, thank you very much for that. And the memberships, it's all gone now. We got everybody participating on the 4 lifers on that one. But you like the 4 lifers?
I don't mind it at all. All right, guys. Continuing to watch ADBV. It's above 12. Gonna have to pack the patience on this one. I just want to sit. Relax a little bit here.
Yeah, same, man.
It's getting hot.
It's nice in here,
get myself a little bit of a water.
Want an iced coffee?
Someone wrote $3.99. That's just a spiteful person.
Yeah, who is it?
Let's block him, man. Let's block him. That's crazy.
No, I'm joking.
All right, man. 6-7, sit and spin. All right, man. V, someone's saying V's moving. VEEE, watch out, he said. It's light volume. I see it moving up into 20 bucks and a third there, but nothing for me to do on that one. ADBV. Continuing to watch this, guys. I mean, still showing 1222, 1233, but we'll keep tabs on this. I want to see what Luis has to say about this one. I bet you anything Luis is going to come late on the show because he's printing here on ZCMD because it's all sorts of weak. It's breaking down into 650. Whoever said this one was destined for VWAP at $5, have at it. Clap, round of applause for you because it's about, $1, $1.50 now from VWAP.
Round of applause.
Oh, yeah.
You know that track?
No, I don't.
From Waka Flocka Flame?
I don't. Sing it. Maybe
No,
I know
you
it.
can't. Round of applause.
Oh, is it strong language?
Yeah,
Is
of
that
course.
why? Of
It's
course.
Walker.
Is that one?
Yeah.
1250 seller here, thereabouts, Joey, on ADBV. I don't know, man. There's the topping tail candle right now goes in about 12.5, so no continuity there, but it's up 75%. I think if it can get above 12.5, if it fails though, I think that's probably going to drop pretty aggressively. But here it is. The ask is moving above 12. Does the bid stay above 12? Do we got the juice to get to 19? Adam James abroad astutely pointed out the daily pointing out to that level. What are you seeing on this one?
Yeah, I'm looking at it too, man. The tape stepping in. Like, this is what we want to see. Boom. See, look, we go back to 1255.07. You can see that we're clearly higher in the time and sales, but that's when you can really identify the strength stepping in. Nice hopping back in there, Sharif. It's really starting to pick up some steam. I was thinking about getting in once again on this curl up, but I was like, you know what, man, maybe we just sit on the sidelines a little bit here on this bad boy. It was a nice little run there, essentially. One thing about Joe is you're going to blush. Yeah, I think so. I blush all the time, B. So
what happened at the park?
We can't talk about that, man. We're not. It's not Trader TV appropriate.
So good. You're always a good sport about it too, bro.
I mean, I try, man. I get frustrated sometimes. I'm human too. But yeah, there's a nice little.
It's gonna be like that's gonna be one of your sayings. Like I don't ask for much around here. I'm human too.
Yeah, I get dude. You didn't see me earlier in the when I was trading Tesla. I was legit. Like I was like, if I was at home, that would have been potentially one of the days where I would have had to go buy a new screen or a mouse.
Oh,
yeah.
You should get some slippers.
You could throw those.
Yeah, I used to throw slippers all the time when I was learning to trade these small caps, man. Thankfully,
I've only broken one screen and it wasn't intentional. I threw my headphones and the headphone hit the corner of the screen.
I remember telling me about that. Yeah. Was that COVID?
No, it was post-COVID. Yeah, way post-COVID.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
We're above 13, Joey, but we're having trouble with 13 right now on ADBV. I've wet the beak multiple times. 13 seller, 1309, moving on up. 13
Holy
there.
cow.
It goes into 13.5. We're waiting now. We've got 65s on. Limit up is 1389.
I got it.
So I'm going to set up here at 69 ahead of course, the limit up 1389. We're showing 56s. We're struggling with the $0.50. Watch for a loss of 13. It could lure you into the trade here.
Yeah, it is luring me.
You want to talk about what you're seeing? You want me to keep going on?
Yeah, keep going, man.
Continuing to watch here. I want to see a decisive break and take of the $0.50, right? Because that's where we're talking about support and resistance at the whole dollar, the $0.50 seller at 55, 56 on the ask now. Looking for a move up 59 on the ask now. We're waiting at 69s. And then you better believe I'm going to hold a piece for the dream should one come in. The bottom dropped off into 13, but it's holding 13, Joseph Options. Let's see, buyer at 6, buyer at 13. Let's continue to watch here. 01 bleeding its own blood down, but it keeps popping back on into 13. So do we have enough buyers, Mr. Options Man, to hold up at $13? The answer right now, at least for the moment, is yes. But we're not crossing back into that $0.50. I'm going to pack the patience here, even though this is turning into an ugly topping tail candle. What I can do is I can risk 15 pennies. I made a good amount here on this trade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it to 12.50. It loses 12.50, I'm out.
Okay.
So let's go ahead. This guy's taking a page out of my book here. I love it. If it loses 12.50, I'm out. I just got to load up my screen over here, see exactly what we're doing, Joey. So we're going to pack the patience on this one. It wants to lose the $0.50, Tiffany. We're going to get out of this one, but at the moment, it's not. So we'll pack the patience.
Yeah, good stuff, man. I'm looking for this momentum to turn around here because this is another setup where we can be potentially looking at a high of the day break. Now, we just don't want to get caught in any form of rug pull. Obviously, that's going to be a consistent risk. But where this next 1 minute candle opens up is going to be a massive teller of if I decide to get involved with this bad boy or not. All right. So we'll be patient. We'll allow this selling to cool off. There goes some strong downticks, not seeing exactly what I want. You're seeing 95s printed there on the tape. And now where we've opened up on the 1 minute, I do not like it at all. So we'll have to give it a little bit more time. If it does, what I want to see is, there it is, strong upticks, still inside. We're breaching through that previous candle. There it goes. There was, that was the opportunity, it seems to be the case there, Sharif. So now what I'm going to have to look for is another additional wave of buying, stepping in, punching through that 1350 marker. If it does, with momentum and vigor, then by all means, we might press, we might punch here, but I'm going to go a fraction of the size on what I had before, and then we'll see if, like, this isn't going to be a holding. It's like, hey, if we're fortunate enough to catch a quarter or 15, 20 cents, then we just flatten out of the position. But see, there it goes, immediately met by some form of defense. So as that continues to happen, the less and less I like this for a continuation. You know what, man? Is Luis here yet? No. Yeah, he is. He's ready. Yeah. Hey, listen, man, I'm itching to pull the trigger on this. Maybe it's best I don't, considering I told you guys how the day was going via large caps, and we just turned that ship right around with this one ADVB trade, Luis. I see you in the queue there, so we'll pull you up momentarily.
This guy's British. All my days, the queue, everything, bro. You just get that citizenship, my man.
No. I get a Jamaican citizenship. There it is. Okay, there we go.
There
That's
it
what I'm
goes.
talking about.
I moved up my beak weather from 69. I want a 14 breach. Here comes 80.
It's going.
82. 14. Give me my money, man.
That's what I
Into
talked
14
about,
we
man.
go. 1456 limit up, baby. Watch out.
That's what I'm telling you, man. 1350 breach into 14. This thing's going absolutely nuts right now. All right,
man. Finally made some money back.
Yeah, finally made some money back on that one.
There it goes.
Yeah, there it goes, man.
1441 high. 1441 high, guys. Watch out. 1456 limit up. So it would have to take out the high of the day for the limit up at the moment.
All right,
perfect time for Luis to get here because ZCMD.
What is Tesla doing? Is he ready? Oh, he's ready.
He's always ready.
Man, that was quick. All right.
First of all, Luis, I didn't get a chance to thank you congratulate you in person.
Oh my God,
days limit
15,
up
brother.
on ADVB.
Man.
1477 limit up, Joseph Options. There it goes. It breaches 100% for the first time on the day, up 108 now, and 2/3% perfect.
Yeah.
Limit up. We're halted, 1490 halt, or top, just so I can let everybody know, 1301.32. So 101.32 halt time. Earliest open, 106.32. Set the alarm.
Tap showing 1478
That's
here.
1 penny ahead of where we halted, 1477 halt. So, Luis, perfect timing. There we go. Congratulations, my friend. You guys are the best in the world, and I think deservedly so. I think enough people have crapped on Argentina and kind of their behavior enough lately, so I won't go through there. But I want to congratulate your team for being all class and reacting in a very appropriate way, man. That was you guys kind of kept it from going off the rails. So love that. Congratulations to you. Who was your standout player, though? I want to ask you that. Was it Roderick? For me, it's Roderick.
Yeah, probably, yeah. I mean, we were a team, you know, in all what it means. So there was not such an individual player. We were expecting Lamine Yamal and Pedri to shine, and we won the World Cup almost without these two players because they were not in the best moment physically, probably. And look, it didn't matter. Rodri was there. The defense was amazing. I think Paco Garcia made the workout of his life. Was amazing championship for him. So the whole team, but Rodri probably kept the balance and the rhythm of the best team in the world. So it's very, very important when you play this kind of strategy. We could call it tactics, like Busquets in the Barcelona best team of the history. Rodri is now in Spain. So it is very important, this kind of player for these strategies.
And I got to tell you, I haven't seen him play this well since before the I think, was it an ACL or MCL? He had one of the two there because he was out almost the entire year with City. He hasn't looked that good since that time. So Rodri looks fantastic. I also want to just touch on your defense there for a second. I don't know anybody that was really saying that Spain had like a stellar defense, but one goal the entire tournament.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was insane.
That's insane.
Like, people were not saying.
Not only one goal. They didn't shoot us. I mean, it's not about the goal. We had 15 shots in the whole tournament to our goal, which is crazy. One goal, but it could have been known at all. So,
and holding Argentina.
They didn't reach our area, our field. So that's even more important.
And holding Argentina to 0 shots on goal for the majority of the game is absolutely insane. So
yeah, exactly.
I think it was a picture-perfect display of depth within the team, which I think was really important, and I love seeing that here. But Sharif, yeah, let's get into some of these small caps.
Because I know Luis is looking at ZCMD.
He's looking at that, but what about ADBV?
Hold on. Well, let's talk to the guy.
The short man.
Well, I mean, this is his thing right here, is it not? Like, I mean, Luis, okay, so I just want to say something to you. So I was watching $10. $10 to me seemed to be like the critical level, especially when it lost it. It had so many topping tail candles through 10, all of which failed. I want to ask you, was that something, one of the indicators you were looking for, multiple failures through a key level like $10 to set up short here?
Yeah. When it was there ranging between 850 and 950, it was a clear short with that stop loss. But look, you have to put all the ingredients together, and all of them together, for me, it was a buy ticker, you know? We were talking pre-market. Yesterday, we have at least 3 runners, 3 crazy movement up. It was a DFNS, VIVK, and KIDS. Okay, so we had like 3 stocks running over 300% or something like that.
Yeah.
So we were expecting today this sympathy play. So any stock with the same kind of characteristics that is moving up 50% or 100% is gonna go 500% because of the sympathy play. We call it sympathy play or running cycle, right? So all of them has very low float, Chinese company. So, you know, all that give me like a clue that, okay, I'm gonna try to avoid the short in this one. And also, I usually avoid a stock if it halts up and then trade for 5 seconds and it halts again, you know, because I cannot have the control of my risk when it happens. So at this moment, when it halts up, trade 5 seconds and it halts up again, I say, okay, I'm not gonna trade this because it can open in $20 or $40 and that's it, blow up my account. So it doesn't make sense at all. Here, it was a okay chance because you have a little bit more tighter risk between 10 and 50. But you know, it's a wide range. You're shorting 950 with at least $1 margin you have to give it. So, you know, it was a little bit tricky. Also, locates were not very cheap most of the time because the volatility and the low float, we're talking about 600,000 shares float only. So, you know, it was very difficult to short this one.
I agree. By the way, guys, ADBV resumed 1576 high. I took 15 long into about 1580, and there it goes again. 1596,
Holy
16,
cow.
Joseph. Limit up.
Man.
It's crazy, right, Luis? And the thing is, Luis, I was telling everybody like on Monday and Tuesday that the small caps, there was very few, at least to trade to the long side. Most of them were failing. And then you come in, or sorry, Monday anyway. And then you come in Tuesday, and then we got that CV, whatever, or HI, I forget the ticker there. And then it rips 1,600%. Then we have ZCMD today. We have ADBV. So I love to see these ones come back in waves. And the good news, at least, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, when you have big movers up like this, usually come back down. So there's ways for everybody to make money here. People on the long side and the short side.
I mean, you have both sides. If you are able to avoid the crazy one, the rest of them, they just fake crazy, you know? So it's about, when we're talking about shorting or trying to long, when you are long, you have to be more picky with the stock picking, right? Because you only have 1/30 that it goes like crazy as ADVB today. And the other 20, they fade all day. So, you know, if you are very selective with the float and the country and the technical analysis as well, and you avoid these crazy runners, the rest of them, they fade all day. Look, LAVT.
Yep.
See, we had this one pre-market, you know, crazy runner, but you're patient and you short on the backside, and when the VWAP break, look, it's already in $3. We have also SXTC.
Yep.
Look at this one, SXTC, yeah. Look, this one from 5 to 2, right? So, you know, there is always both sides of the coin of the game here. And we short very small here, but we were waiting a pop to VWAP. There you go. You can short here with a very nice risk reward and winning ratio here. So if you avoid the crazy runner with few red flags like country, very low flow, technical analysis, and so on, all of the rest, they just fade all day.
Great look. All right, Luis, let's go through some of your trades today. We already saw, a couple there. You were on ZCMD. What was your look today?
Well, I also long. Look, I'm a short bias trader, but if it looks nice, the long, I long ADVB. I long in few dips here against the VWAP, and I long here on this dip. I had to cut half of it, and I'm not so patient as you are, so I get out here. So I long ADVB. I shorted SXTC. I avoid CMD or whatever you call it.
ZCMD, yeah.
And shorted LAVT as well. So those were the main ones. It was all very focusing few tickers today. So not a lot of tickers to trade. Cost was a very good one. I didn't trade it, but here some people made nice money on this one. Cost, we went all the way up and all the way down again. So that was a nice one to pyramid, very big position. This is what is good about between 150 to $2 tickers. You can go very big, right? Because the level 2 is huge, and you can cut, you can jump in again with very, very tight stops. So once it failed the highs, we had like the $2 number as a resistance. So we shorted there. You can add here, look at this B1 rejection again here.
Oh, wow.
All the way down. So that was a nice one as well.
Clean. That's very clean. Almost a head and shoulders pattern. Can you put that back a little bit? Yeah, there it is. Yeah. And then the head and the right shoulder fails at the volume weighted average price. That's actually quite beautiful there. And then you have a neckline break at around $1.40. Fantastic drop there. Good call out on that, Luis. What do you got?
Yeah, we'll take it for what?
Also traded a couple of blue chips, SNDK today. SNDK, few trades, but was also okay. A lot of movement up and down. Like $5 to $10 a spread. So that was very nice. I call it like a spread trading. You jump up, the spread open, you get fill on the offer, you send the bid, and you get fill almost right away with $5 to $10 spread. So that was okay to trade as well today, at least.
Fantastic stuff. Luis, last time we spoke, I believe last week it was, you pulled up a chart of the cyclical nature of some of these small caps, and we've seen that we were just kind of in a no man's land at this point. Over the past couple of days, and this week in particular, how much has that chart changed? Because we're starting to see some of these names go on a little bit bigger of moves here, as we've seen ADVB now almost put in a new high of the day. They're up 121%. So how is that specific charting, and how is that data collection starting to look? Is the tide starting to change here?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, let me check. I didn't check this week, but if you go to runners here and we search and we go to daily, it's around 2 or 3 per day. So we are more or less on the average, and we go weekly. Probably with the ones today, we are like above the average. Nothing like very crazy, because the way we measure this, it's not only let's see how I explain this. It's not only that the stock goes up 100% or 300%. It measures if it gives you the chance, if you are short, to get out of the position. So it measures the volatility and the noise up and down. So if it goes 500% up, but on the way you have dips to get out, we don't consider this as a runner, because if you are shorting, you have the possibility of getting out. So in these calculations, these are the stocks that went up without any chance to get out. Let's say like CYBT, I think it was. Let me check. This one, I think it was
60 buy.
Right this one, it went up, look. And you couldn't get out, right? Because it goes up all the way. It doesn't make movement down. So that's how we measure this. If you are shorting, you want to short something that even if it goes up, it gives you the probability or the chance to get out.
Yeah, okay, fantastic. Any questions in the chat? We actually have one from Nick W. A couple of things. Yeah, that's fantastic.
No, that's for me.
Yeah, that is for
Zion.
Yeah, Zion asked the question.
Scroll up. Yeah.
What did Zion ask here?
Keep going. Up.
There.
INLF and INF pre-market. Yeah, that's a good
there you go. You got it. You got the chat up there. Did you look into INLF and INM pre-market, Luis? Once again, congrats on World Cup Championship win. So yeah, if you want to pull up INLF and INM to see what Zion has going on.
Get it, Zion.
Absolutely, it's the same. Look. It went up parabolic. You don't short here front side, even less if we are in a running cycle. I repeat, yesterday we have 3 or 4 crazy runners. So today pre-market, just never short front side on a running cycle in a low flow ticker like this one. Okay, so you wait, and when you have this consolidation, you can short here with a tight stop, or you can wait for the confirmation of the movement. Short here. And short here against the VWAP. Look, I love this. This is VWAP rejection. The stock went up. It has gone down already. So a lot of people stop looking this stock. The traders, the volume go to another stocks which is moving. I don't remember at that time which one was moving, but we see what we call a shift of volume. So the traders and the algorithms go to another stock that is running crazy, and they forget about this one, and then it goes all the way down. Okay, so we call this a VWAP rejection. Was an amazing trade, this one, and the other one was INM, probably the same. There you go. Okay, same, but it was a little bit thin volume on this one. Was very, very fast. So look, even though we have some special tricks here in the academy to get locates very fast, and and all these things, I'll explain you someday private to you, Sharif. But even with that, look, this was a 15 or 30 seconds movement. So in these 30 seconds, sometimes you don't get the locates, So it was difficult to go short in this one. Only one trader here in the room could make it so fast to go short there and take all the way down. All the rest, when we got the locate, it was already here, so it was a little bit more difficult to go short on this one. So we waited for a little bit of pullback here to short and all the way down again. So very nice, Sayan. 2 perfect tickers to short pre-market.
Perfect. So yeah, we had the conversation as well not too long ago, Luis, just on the fact that when we were having these 1,000% gainers, what I've noticed over the past couple of days, a lot of these small caps that are moving right now are Chinese biotech. Any correlation between what we got going on with that right now?
Yeah, Chinese, Hong Kong are the main tickers that running so crazy. Also, yesterday, the ones that run, they were not all Chinese, but today we have most of them. They are Chinese, like C.
Yeah, the one yesterday that I think that went 1,000% was like Chinese biomed or something along those lines. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. It's more. It seems it's easier to push this stock, because the low flow, because of the maybe lack of control or regulations, and well, they're probably not so afraid of getting some SEC reports or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Fantastic stuff. I seen you at
I wanted to ask Luis. So Luis, very excited because we've never met in person, but I'm gonna be in Barcelona Monday, August 24th, and then I leave the afternoon of Wednesday, August 26th. I want to, first of all, I'm very excited to come to the office, hopefully, and see a day trading. Very excited for that. Of course, we always talk about the Barcelona office of real day trading. It'd be nice to visit it. But I want to ask your opinion. I'm staying in an area of Barcelona called Ciutat Vella. Am I pronouncing that right? Ciutat Vella or?
Ciutat Vella, yeah.
Ciutat Vella. Is that okay, or is it a good area? It's close to the water.
I mean, that's like the very city center, like the old part of the city. You are like walking to everywhere. It's a little bit more crowded. It's a little bit more, noisy, and it's not the best place to live. I wouldn't live there, but you are right in the middle of the thing.
Which is what I asked the AI, right? I asked AI, I'm like, I want, an area where there's a nice bars, nice restaurants, everything kind of in walking distance. Just a quick question as well, Luis. How's the subway system in Barcelona? Where am I going to be able to get around easily, like to different places, or is it more of like an Uber type thing?
It's awesome. Bus and underground, it works like perfectly, and it's
Amazing.
quite cheap. And even though if you are there, you will walk pretty much most of the city, right?
Hey, I'm so excited.
So we'll see you here. I hope you visit the office, of course.
100% I'm coming to the office. Yeah. As long as you have me. I can't invite myself.
Yeah, I can invite myself.
You can invite yourself.
Yeah.
Joe is going to invite himself there, Luis. But
and by the way, that week or the next week, we were talking last week, we are starting an English course for the first time. Because we had some nice feedback from Trader TV. So there you go. I have here some things to show on the screens.
Yeah, go ahead.
It will be only 1 week, okay, like 3 hours per day, something like that. Live classes, okay, in English, of course, from Monday to Friday. It's about 3 hours per day. End of August, beginning of September. It depends on the feedback we have from people. Very, very small groups, okay, only 6, 8 people only.
Amazing.
It's a theory, but it is directly related to trade small caps, trade the way we trade with our softwares, with our tools, scanners, P-Pro as you use, guys, here. So it is just like the way we trade here live and the way you trade small caps. It will be me as mentor and my colleague Mark.
Amazing.
So there you got the contact. If someone wants to join the 8-day trading team, there you go. Okay, they can write us an email or Twitter or WhatsApp or whatever. Okay, so it will be very nice. I hope we have a nice feedback, and it will be very, very interesting for us as well, because we have had such a nice feedback here in the chat and in Twitter and everywhere from you guys. So let's see how it works.
Luis, can you put that back up, the picture? Because people are asking already in the chat how to sign up. So can we just put that back up if we can, the logo or the flyer? Sorry for the thing.
Let me load it. Don't worry.
Okay, no problem. But for everybody, it's adaytrading.com. So you can just go there. But it's adaytrading.com, correct? Right?
Yeah. The web is adaytrading.com. We have like a place there to sign up for the next course, or they can write us to the email or to the X, and that's also we will answer as well.
Yeah.
But in the website, they have like sign up for the next course,
Amazing.
Ask for more information, ask for a call. Since the group will be very, very small, we will do like personal calls to know the profile of each student to see if it fits what we do and what they are expecting to learn and trade and so on.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
Thank you so much,
Luis.
Love it. Man, look at ADVB just dropping there. Like
you were the top whip,
yeah, but hey, man, we got out of there. Hey, listen, we would have liked to hold on to this one, but a couple of small scalps and that's it. So we were fortunate enough to sit in that one. But it actually absolutely tanked from 17 all the way down to 14.50, Luis. What are the, before we let you go, we may as well look at it now, if you can, briefly. What are the locates looking like on this thing? Because I remember, but hold up here, because I remember the statistic in which you were telling us from a trader specifically of yours, stating the fact that the more expensive the locates, the higher return or the higher the profit factor was for that individual in their trading. What are the ADVB locates looking like at this very moment?
Right now, I think it's, let me say, I'm asking both here, it's like $90 per 100 shares.
90? 90?
90, yeah.
Whoa.
It was like 25 few minutes ago, but when it broke, because look, let me see if I have it here. There you go, ADVB. When it broke this $13, was a very important level from a couple of days ago, I think. Let me check. There you go. When it broke this level, it cost like $20, $22 per 100 shares. When it broke, it went like $50, $60, $90 now to locate this one. So it is not possible to locate anymore on this one. And what we were talking about was if the locates are for free, so it's easy to borrow, statistically, it doesn't work to short these small caps. Statistically, of course, many of them work, but because it's easy to borrow, the probability of a short squeeze is higher, right? When it's very expensive, they work, but statistically, the P&L, the profit, it gets very, burdened with the locate cost. So it's always when it's like mid-price, between maybe $1 to $5 per 100 shares, that's the best range of price, locates, and probability that the trade will work. So it's not only about money. Sometimes you see free locates and you think, oh, good, it's free locates, so I'm going to short. And just the way you think, many people think, and they don't short 1,000 shares, they short 10,000 because it's for free. And then you got this snowball, shorting squeeze, and so on, right?
Perfect. Good stuff. All right, brother. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. And yeah, let's see what this name gets up to as it's starting to move a little bit higher. Some strong time in sales. Thank you, Luis.
I just want to remind everybody again, guys, if anybody wants to learn small caps in a structured way, head to adaytrading.com. Luis said that there's a link on that website there. You can sign up for the small cap course. Get it today. We all see Luis. He's got a great setup for the shorts, and that gives you kind of both. It's a double-edged sword. You watch us take it long. You learn from Luis and company how to view this. So make sure you're signing up if you're a small cap gapper.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, man. Fantastic stuff as always. You guys know where to find the man. If not, Luis, I know you have X. You're on X as well. You're in the chat and at day trading, sorry, I should say. .com.
We never asked about the weather because we're not as jealous.
We're not jealous anymore.
Like,
so
now it's summer. You don't ask, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like we don't care.
Yeah,
I am still a little concerned about the pothole.
You don't feel so miserable like in winter. You do.
We were absolutely miserable and jealous. Of course we are in the winter, man. That goes without saying.
Yeah, all right.
Thanks for being on.
Hold on. Before we send it up, how's the pothole scenario over there?
The what?
The potholes, like the holes in the ground, in the roads.
No, we don't have that.
We don't have that. What is going on over there? That's crazy. We don't have that.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have any in Texas.
But they didn't have it.
Frankly, like no, not
I guess it's not. I guess because it doesn't freeze over.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, it freezes here in the winter too.
Yeah,
that's
and
why
everything
we
gets
have
destroyed.
potholes over there.
Join Terry for Barcelona trip. Come on.
Yeah, bro, let's go.
Yeah, you're going. Well, we can't both go
the thing about that, Luis, we can't both be on vacation at the same time. That ends up being a problem.
Well, I highly attest to that. Luis,
let's make Sean and Neil work a little bit. Come on, they're close to be retired.
Exactly.
Luis, I'm still waiting for my plane ticket. You see these numbers right here. It might be a little bit difficult. So whatever that name was that is halted, these are the numbers that we picked.
HD, I don't forget. It's NHD.
What's it doing? Yeah, what's it doing? Are you buying me my plane ticket yet, or?
It's still halted. It's still halted.
Oh, it's still halted?
Hold on.
That's crazy.
There's another question in the chat from Eclectic Passions. Ask Luis about the course schedule. Is it Barcelona time on the description, or what's the time, Luis, for that?
Good question.
Yeah, I mean, we are open to do it at any time, here, but we thought that if we try to do it in Spain morning, let's say, it would be like 4 at night in the US or Canada or something like that. So for us, it doesn't matter. We will fit the time schedule for the students. What we think is easier, I think it's from, let's say, lunch time there. So it's from 6 to 9 here. It is 12 there to 3. Okay. So lunch time with the market. But if the people are, if we have a lot of feedback and there is another time schedule that it fits better for the students, that's okay with us, but because of the time change between the USA, Canada, and Spain, that we thought this would be the easiest one. But let's see how it works.
Amazing. Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck.
And we'll mention it again, Luis. If you can, brother, please send me that flyer in the DMs so that we can kind of show it every now and again, just to remind people that they can do that. Yeah. Thank you for coming on, Luis.
Amazing, man. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Take care. Have a great day.
I wrote, by the way, I wrote Brendan. Where is Brendan? He's in holiday forever.
Yeah, he's just, he's taking a couple of days off, but he'll be back in hopefully very, very soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Say hi from
yeah, we'll tell him to say hello. All right, brother.
Thank you for that, Luis. Just before we start the news, sorry, Sia, we went overtime. Guys, I have to let everybody know ZBAO is rapping. into 40 pennies. Great kind of rounded bottom there with a 25 penny hold. 41.50 high, showing 39.38 at the moment. Trade this one carefully, but another small cap gapper. Now this one is below the dollar. It's below the $0.50 as well. ZBAO. SIA.
SIA, yes, right here. We're going to talk about GE Vernova right now, sliding further down over 7%. Now, I told you guys we'd get a very intricate outlook over what's going on here. They posted their earnings, so let's take a look with the numbers not looking the best here. Analysts were expecting an EPS in the range of $3.04 to $3.17. EPS has come in under delivering at $2.47. Revenue standing at $1.11 billion, and Wall Street had been expecting $10.8 billion, so there's a solid beat in the revenue, I could say. Full year guidance has been raised to $46 billion, up from $45 billion. Full year 2025 revenue outlook has also been raised to $46 billion, up from $45 billion. GEV has gained 65% this year alone and 85% over the last 12 months. However, the backlog has grown to $150 billion, $265 billion at the end of first quarter, and now it stands at $176 billion. CEO of the company, Scott Starzik, has said that the data center orders have doubled as compared to the year 2025. Now, why you need to understand this is that gas turbines have emerged as one of the hottest segments overall in the industrial market that's powering a booming AI infrastructure build out and also onshoring of manufacturing here. And he's continued to say that we now expect to have at least 125 gigawatts of gas equipment under contract by the year end of this year. That is 2026. We are also seeing continued demand growth in electrification, with data center orders reaching over $5 billion year to date, more than double our 2025 total goal.
Great summary, Sia. Let me touch on a couple of points that I wanted to touch on. Free cash flow. I don't want to call it a free cash flow illusion because they actually have the money, but their free cash flow exploded to $5.1 billion. However, a lot of that was from a one-time upfront payment by a customer, meaning the generation kind of was driven by customers locking in future delivery dates rather than any operational earnings. So a free cash flow, I don't want to call it an illusion, but it is a one-line item. Now, I also want to talk about their wind division because it's really a drag here, okay? The wind segment was their worst performing. They lost about $275 million in the segment, and their their revenue on that declined 13.6% year over year. That's not a surprise to me, given the current administration's disdain for the wind and, power generated by that means. But I also want to talk about their data center revenue, man. Unbelievable. Electrification booked $5 billion in data center orders just in the first half of the year alone. And Sia was mentioning their gas turbines. Not surprised by that. To process the $176 billion backlog for power that they have from customers right now, they're basically spending a storm CapEx here to build out output to 20 gigawatts by Q3 of 2026. Then they're gauging they'll be at 24 gigawatts by 28, and then finally 30 gigawatts by 2030. So that's kind of their ramp up there. And specifically, we're talking about the the gas turbine expansion. So they have their hand in many cookie jars: electrification, wind, gas. So they're a full kind of service energy provider. But a decent report here. Where's it at right now, technically? Are we up or down on the day? We're getting clipped, down 8%. Is this thing SSR? No, it's pretty close to going SSR. I have to mention this. ADVB is coming back into 17, guys. 1761 limit up. It's above 17, Joey. 1720. Again, 1761 limit up on this one. Keep your eye on ADVB.
Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, let's send it back over to Sia, talk some Philip Morris. Oh, wow.
Philip Morris, you have PM reporting a revenue of $11.9 billion, which is a year-over-year increase of 10.4% over here. EPS has come in at $2.20, whereas EPS for the same period a year ago stood at $1.9191. Revenue has a surprise of 6.03%, according to Zacks consensus estimate that had estimated $10.56 billion. Now let's get into shipment volumes and the numbers and metrics over here. So HTU, that's heated tobacco units, 41.8 billion versus 41.37 billion estimated by two analysts over here. You also have smoke-free at 48.2 billion versus estimates of 47.78 billion. Bit of a good outlook here. E-vapor at 1.3 billion versus analyst expectations of 1.41 billion. And finally, you have oral smoke-free products at 5.1 billion versus 5 billion estimated by two analysts. Just a little bit of an upside over there. U.S. net revenue is currently standing at $856 million versus estimated at $762.34 million. International combustibles, $6.46 billion versus $5.97 billion. And ultimately, you have international smoke-free revenue at $3.88 billion versus estimated of $3.83 billion. Philip Morris, the name PM, up close to 3% on the day.
I think it's kind of obvious that smoking is slowly growing older. It's not as popular, obviously, as it was in the 90s, 80s, and so on and so forth, before my lifetime. But what's really interesting is this smoke-free business is really starting to gain some ground and starting to be the driver within some of these companies. Now, if you're going to equal to over 42% of total revenue and up 0.5%, I was making the point that this is a big time turnaround, and with these companies finding the ability to adapt and change to the ever so changing environment as people are continuously dropping alcohol beverages and smoking flat out tobacco via cigarettes, switching into these pouches is an absolute a pandemic. I'm going to call it that, an epidemic, whatever you would like, because it is really starting to sweep across the youth and even individuals my age. You're seeing that rotation into the physical cigarette, where we know all the health negatives that come with that, to a tune where you can just use a different vehicle to kind of get the same fix, which is an odd thing to say, but it's the nature of the beast, and I really like that. Now, one thing that I also want to point out is that, guys, I think they're charging us a little bit too much for our ZYNs. Why? Gross margins on these smokeless, smoke-free vehicles, I guess we can call them, 70%. All right, so some solid margins there. And I mean, at the end of the day, listen, ZYN, Zonic, whatever it is, are continuously growing in popularity, and I think that's going to be the narrative as a lot of individuals step away from things like alcohol, right? And you're starting to see the alcohol-free or the 0% alcohol drinks really starting to uptick. Now, this still has nicotine features in it, but it does eliminate a lot of those carcinogens from inhaling the tobacco smoke itself. So I like everything that Philip Morris has got going on. We can look at it from a technical standpoint too. I mean, this isn't a name that we often talk about, nor I don't think anybody's really ever day traded it. I'd be surprised if we had. But Philip Morris over here, are we at all-time highs? Not quite. We'll zoom out a little bit more to the monthly and see what we got going on here. Ladies and gentlemen, just in case we are around that neck of the woods. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, very interesting. I don't know, maybe, yeah, so maybe an exchange change right here from 08, but a nice move from $40 all the way up to 192, giving you 305% now at all-time highs.
Just before we go back, I just need to cover Nick W's super chat. Thank you very much, Nick Dub. Sharif, is there a small cap you think may move a lot overnight? VEE, VEEE, that you called last week. Thanks. Look, you know, I got to first and foremost tell you, I don't think I've ever held a small cap overnight. Not as a bag hold, not by intention. So I just want to make that very clear that that's not my style. However, I'm looking at ADBV's daily chart, and you have 3 positive days now in a row. You got the breakout on the 17th. You got continuation on the 20th. You had an inside day and ended up holding the lows, which was red, on the 21st. And then look what happened today on the 22nd. So I don't want that to be an endorsement for ADBV as a long, but I'm just saying to you that, you know, this one does have a multi-day trend. Just by way of comparison, if you look at the price action, for example, on the daily on ZBAO, just let's flip to the daily. Look at that. It's still a continued downtrend. There is no uptrend to be had there. Let's look as well at ZCMD. Let's look at the daily on that. Is this one have an uptrend? Multiple day uptrend? The answer to that is no. It was basically just straddling $2. So again, I want to emphasize, it is not my nature to ever hold small caps overnight, especially the ones that I trade intraday. But yeah, have a look at that one that I was mentioning there. ADBV, it does have a multi-day run for it. So thank you again, Nick, for the $4.99 super chat. Shout out to the OG Nick Dub. Let's send it back to you.
That's AT&T has topped its revenue estimates that have come in at $31.6 billion, which is an upside of 2.3% compared to the same period a year ago. 65 cents per diluted share, beating estimates of 59 cents. EPS and continuing operations are up 66 cents, up from 62 cents in the year-ago quarter. Also, the company's postpaid phone base has grown 432,000 net subscribers just this quarter alone. Internet subscriber growth, which is also coming in strong here, standing at 646,000 net additions across consumer as well as business accounts. This quarter, it's also posted the strongest consumer postpaid wireless account growth in more than 3 years. In two segments over here, you have the fiber network and the fixed wireless. Chairman and CEO of the company, John Stankey, has said that the company is accelerating its planned share repurchases this year to approximately $10 billion, up from roughly $8 billion it had outlined earlier. Currently, AT&T, that's T, up over 2.5%.
Look, I mean, I get that it had a good day today, AT&T, but I think I've made my point very clear about how I feel about these telecom companies in the future. I think they're ripe for disruption in the way that taxi cabs were ripe for disruption when Uber, made its way onto the scene. And the reason is quite simple. Low Earth orbit satellites, whether you're Rocket Labs, whether you're SpaceX, I think we get direct to satellite cellular service. And that, by definition, cuts out the middlemen here with terrestrial towers that, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon, everybody else we have on Rogers, TELUS, Bell, the Canadian company. So I don't like it. I wouldn't be punching in to a telecom company. I realize they have other forms of business, internet, television, etc. But I'll submit to you that their bread and butter is mobile, and I want nothing to do with this company.
Chapman, I would never, bro. What are you talking about? I didn't see you tag me at all. What's up, man? You don't like the telecom.
No, I don't.
Sector because you believe it's going to be disrupted. I can completely understand that, brother. But revenue growth has relatively muted, but profitability improved in the most recent annual snapshot. Now, one thing that I wanted to point out is that you're getting they're growing their glass fiber connectivity, hitting I think it's record around 40 billion, or I believe, lines across the board. Let's see if I can find the actual 40 million. Total fiber. So fiber to home, it's huge, right? Growing, something that we've seen here north of the border in Canada a lot. Voiding copper and getting straight to that glass. Other than that, I don't have much to say. I like the transition into fiber. It's a little bit more difficult to repair, Sharif.
Yes, sir.
But at the end of the day, faster connectivity gets the better service for you.
The fiber is harder to repair than copper, and you would know a lot about that. So I take your opinion immediately.
Yeah, glass much more difficult to repair.
Yeah, but
glass
faster,
goes far,
right?
But much faster. Yeah, faster.
Yeah, because I remember like this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Electrons through copper, photons through glass.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's the geek, the nerd.
Yeah, that's the nerd.
Nerdy.
Yeah, but it's a lot more difficult. Fiber can stretch a lot farther than what copper can.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. Less loss.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to read out Jay Lee. Shout out to the OG Jay Lee. He tagged you and I both. In my humble opinion, as he always starts his sentences, love that. We should be shorting the TQQQs up here while USO is above $132. I expect the Qs will dump at least $1 from now to close, maybe even $2. Shout out to my man, Jay Lee. Love this. Shout out to Nick Dupp for another super. Sharif, what do you think about Dell on the daily? Like the bull flag, taking a swing long. Love the question. Let's bring in Dell. We were looking at DLLL today. which is a Dell leveraged ETF. But I do want to mention that Dell doesn't have the news catalyst, right? This is SMCI's move here that Dell is running in sympathy with to the tune of 9.81%. But let's take a quick look at the daily. Yeah, absolutely a bull flag on the daily with 375. There goes ADVB into another area high. 375, bottom end of the range, Nick. And I realize that this one did get into the 490s, but look where the majority of the prints close out, 450. So you're kind of close to that 450 level right now, Nick. In fact, we actually got to 451 and a third today. So I'm not telling you what to do. It's never financial advice. It's only suggestions and things that I would do. But I'd be putting a buy order here around 400, and I'd set up another buy order in the 370s, high 70s, to account for this range. Because I want to build my position towards a lower end of the range, Nick, right? That way, if it loses trend, for example, if it loses 350, I'm only losing 30, 25 a share rather than $100 a share, right? So to me, that's what would make sense. But of course, you risk the fact that it goes without you. So I hope that helps, Nick. I hope you print up multiple storms. Get it, Bovin. I don't know why Streamlabs holds back Bovin's booms, right? Like Bovin should be able to boom freely in the chat, Streamlabs, without you babysitting him.
Why does he get it? Why does that happen?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Whatever. People are saying news is out on ZBAO. I got to look at that one real quick. There's no news. Sia?
No, Randy's got the RC car going.
ZBAO. Just 1 second. Signs non-binding. That was like an hour ago or even before that. Non-binding agreement. Term sheet for about 3,500 Bitcoin as consideration for pipe financing. Okay. Thank you very much for that. Let's send it back to Sia.
So Reddit is not having a big up day. It's having a big down day, and shares have continued to slide further down. It was down 7%. Now it's down more than 8.5% at the moment. Wall Street Journal had reported today that Reddit had discussed shutting off Google's access to its content for AI use. Now we'll get a bit deeper into this. So Reddit and Google has struck a deal back in the year 2024 where Reddit was going to allow that Google would train its AI models on Reddit's content. However, Google's AI summaries have now reduced traffic to websites from the search results page, which is one of the main reasons and the only reasons that Reddit is reconsidering the benefits of this deal. So according to the Wall Street Journal, Reddit's $60 million a year deal with Google might be ending soon, but the companies are also in talks to potentially renew this partnership on maybe newer terms. With that, you have Reddit down on the day, 8.5%.
Yeah, so this is a very interesting story, as we spoke about this morning on the rundown. So the fundamental business conflict here between Reddit and Google. Google's AI overviews, kind of they answer the queries that were directly searchable on the results page on Reddit. That strips away Reddit's click-through advertising, right? So, I mean, all of a sudden, their advertising revenue is dropping huge because AI overviews is giving the answer that would have appeared on the Reddit page. So, fundamental business conflict. And now, if you want to get rid of that, if you want to get out of AI overviews, you almost have to get out of the index as a whole. Under the current web indexing protocols, it's extremely difficult to block Google's AI scrapers without simultaneously delisting from the main Google search results. So walking away from the deal actually means removing Reddit threads from the general Google search. That's not something they want either, right? And then you have analyst firms here that are going to be bearish on Reddit as a result of this business stance they're taking. Why? Because they were licensing their information, their data to these LLMs, not only to be searchable on Google's indexing, but to actually be training some of these models, right? And they were getting $130 million combined from Google and OpenAI. And you had analysts at Wells Fargo that were predicting they were going to make $500 million doing that because they were going to raise the prices. Well, where the hell is that money now going to forecast if they're going to cancel this deal? So all of a sudden, you got to start looking at Reddit from a fundamentally different perspective because their revenue stream might change. That's point number 3. And then point number 4, Reddit is not alone here. You got USA Today, you got Reuters, you got Penske Media, right? All are actively evaluating these crawler bans, and they're pursuing as well, some of them, antitrust cases against Google over AI summaries. This is a really, really interesting story. And there goes ADVB into another high at day. 1873 high. It's up 150.
Yeah, man, it almost ran into 19. Yeah, I think there's from a Reddit perspective, I think it's important that when you type into search that Google can actually steer you to the page, because how much traffic does that actually bring? And I think that's going to be massive, to Sharif's point, to its fundamentals. Right? Like, you don't want to change that, in my opinion. There's not much more I can say about it. That's an IPO last year that was pretty hot for a while and tend to cool down. We can look at some of the technicals, but again, I stand on that point. Like, just having Google in your corner, yeah, you got to stand on business on that one, Sharif. Having Google in your corner, I think, is a positive, regardless of what data it's taking from it to train its AI models. I would be like, hey, man, that's okay, because I think the traffic and that's going to help, obviously, digital ad revenue and everything. 545% from those lows, right? That's substantial. What? RDDT from the weekly. Like, think about it. We're looking at the core weaves. We're looking at all of these names, and these exactly what I was just about to draw right there, Sharif, is those consistent higher lows. And I mean, at the end of the day, you look at some of the tech plays, and none of them have lived up to their word, but this has. Look at this, like almost every single one dipped below and head below that issuing price and sold off, but Reddit is continuing to hold on. I mean, an ad revenue giant, but if you take Google away, that can definitely change the fundamentals.
I want to read Ichiro's comment here. Very interesting. Google search ads CPM is up for good websites. The AI results amplifies good websites. That's interesting. That is interesting because, in a sense, I see what you're saying, Ichiro. Maybe Reddit, not the best information that you can get in terms of accuracy, but it seems to be what the LLMs want, especially for training these models. I think, to some respect here, I don't want to say that they're only hunting for good information. I think they're hunting for just information. I don't know how to feel about that. But also, Travman for real says it's absolute trash. He doesn't like Reddit. Frathos Can says sometimes I use the AI summary, but more frequently, we'll still go directly to Reddit threads to check for details. That is actually interesting there. I don't know. I don't think you're the rule. I think that maybe you're the exception, hence why Reddit is a little bit annoyed by this kind of tie-up here. But all great comments, guys. Let's send it back to Sia.
We're looking over at AMD now, Advanced Micro Devices. So AMD has announced a strategic partnership with Anthropic, said that it'll be investing $5 billion in the company, quote unquote, in the future. As a part of this deal, Anthropic will be deploying 2 gigawatts of its AMD Instinct MI450 series GPUs and AMD Helios rack scale solutions. The first gigawatt will be deployed in the first half of next year, Adira. And AMD CEO Lisa Su has said in a statement that, quote unquote, we are thrilled to deepen our partnership with Anthropic and deploy AMD Helios at a gigawatt scale. AMD right now, just want to check what the levels are. It's up close to 2.5% on the day. Adira, give us what's up.
Yeah, so I don't want to talk too much about this in particular. Like, I think it's an interesting look. Oh, sorry. Give me a second there. Yeah, I think for me, it's like just a reminder, guys, this AMD has this advancing AI event. There's going to be a whole bunch of public companies there. I had said the keynote was today. I was blind. I read wrong. I apologize. It's tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. And there are 2 days full of programming. So we're going to actually kick that off here today, 4:20 p.m. Just in terms of public companies that are there. You're going to get Google, Celestica, Synopsys, Dell, Rivian, Marvell, Supermicro, SMCI, RXT, Broadcom, Arista Networks, and HP. That's today alone. You get a whole bunch of other companies. They're going to be present tomorrow as well. So just be aware, guys, that this AMD Advancing AI event is a lot bigger than just this one Anthropic announced. But I think it's interesting, too, how the stock reacted, because we already heard reports we were going to get this Anthropic AMD collab. Bit of a bump up on that, but then it actually gets announced, and again, kind of buy the rumor, sell the news. So we're going to have to wait and see, I guess, what happens at the keynote tomorrow with CEO Lisa Su in less than 24 hours. I think that might be more of note here.
Yep. The Katina Man is now short SpaceX, guys.
Okay.
What's the price, Katina Man? Just right here. Right here. SpaceX is tanking here. It's down 4%. Man. It's losing it. All right, so Katina Man short SPCX. Let me talk a little bit about this. Let me tell you something.
118?
I know.
It's all-time lows on this thing.
Of course, yeah, of course. It continues to bleed its own blood. Did you hear about the short?
Yeah, but we were talking
interest,
about
33%.
Yeah,
oh my
man,
God, the public float.
It's done. It's over.
It's over. It's going to zero. This guy, bro. I love it. All right, man. Let's talk a little bit about this. Starting the second half of next year, Anthropic looking at purchasing 2 big boy gigawatts of AMD's MI450 chips, of course, and then AMD will reciprocate. They're going to throw $5 billion Anthropic's way, depending, of course, on the specific deployment milestones. We've been seeing this a lot. You buy from me, you scratch my back, I scratch yours, and everything is good. Nobody itches, right? Anthropic is also going to deploy its chips across its own data centers as well when it builds them, because it's looking at building them. They don't have any at the moment, as well as the data centers that it currently leases. And then AMD, they're also discussing providing financial backstops for Anthropic's leases so then they get a better rate, right? You got 2 guarantors on that lease, all of a sudden your rate drops. Who's seen that before in real life? Also, there's going to be an engineering collaboration between the 2 companies. So the partnership's going to include what we call this kind of reciprocal deal where AMD is going to actually leverage Claude to help optimize its own performance of its chips. And we've been seeing this a lot more where these companies, these fabless companies, fabless chip designers are using AI to even improve their chipset. Something that I was thinking maybe would be used in the healthcare space, hence why we chose that pick. But this is actually being used in silicon development.
Yeah, very interesting stuff. So stating it as strategically significant as each win deepens AMD's credibility as the number 2 to NVDA and supports the slow, steady share gains underpinning its AI growth story. So, I mean, one thing that I want to know, and I think it's a good question, this is a fantastic question. Now, in regards to the deal, we know about the cyclical nature, right? Like you invest, you buy our chips, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, when you see these companies invest into other ones, on the back side of things, you're looking for an ROI. Now, this leads to the question. AMD gives $5 billion to Anthropic to use. Where's the profit? Fantastic question. What's going to fall into ad revenue? That's going to be a massive, massive revenue stream for some of these large language models. And then also the paid tier system, right? The higher the tier, the more cost it is. Now, I think what these companies, Anthropic and ChatGPT, want to do is integrate into our day-to-day lifestyle, which they're currently doing right now, but to the tune where it's so deeply embedded into our lifestyle where you have no option other than to essentially dive into the ecosystem. I mean, we know about the freemium and how it's really difficult for these companies, and you're asking ChatGPT and Anthropic, where's the money coming from? It's going to come from digital ads and the higher tiers. And that's where I stand on. I think these guys, I said to Sharif this morning, I think Anthropic at one point has the potential to be one of the largest companies on the planet, if it's not already. I mean, it's already like $900 billion valuation. I think we can see this at
People are talking about this thing hitting $3 trillion.
Easily.
Yeah.
Should I say it again? Easily. Listen, dude, I mean, we went over the monthly active users before, and Anthropic was on the lower end of the larger participants, and the top 2 being OpenAI and Gemini.
But does that matter? Because they focused on enterprise.
Exactly.
And that's the thing, right?
And
they go into the deep pockets, Joey.
That too, but also what I was going to get at is think about it, who has the most room to grow. From
That's
that
another good point. So if you want to go the customer route.
Yeah.
See, I think they're kind of compute constrained right now, though. That's the thing.
That's why they're signing all these massive deals, man. They need, Dario needs the compute power.
Yeah,
man.
but Dario is, don't forget, Dario is actively running a reg capture campaign, a regulatory capture campaign. So even though I want to make it very clear, I think Claude's amazing. It doesn't mean that, he stopped his reg capture kind of approach. Reg capture is basically he wants him and a couple of other, sort of oligopolies to influence the regulatory framework that's designed. So the idea there is to box out competition by saying, oh, we need to protect ourselves from AI, that whole doomerist approach. I don't think he's changed that at all, right? So I like Anthropic. I have my reservations when it comes to Dario and, the strategy he's employing, but what do I know?
Yeah. I mean, at the end, same question, right? Like, so it's like, Joe, but what about the ad revenue? How do you get this? Like, how are they going to? Well, you got to pay. But who's going to be paying? They're going to put the ads on the freemium, so you can monetize that, right? That's what we're seeing within ChatGPT, and it's only a matter of time until you see these companies become digital ad giants. Because why? People are using these search engines more and more from a day-to-day basis.
Let's take a look into Samsung smart glasses. So this is a very detailed story here. I want to get a bit into it at the end with my take as well. So Samsung has detailed the features of its smart glasses that also include gesture controls as of today. Samsung had previously unveiled the quote-unquote intelligent eyewear during the Google I/O, which is Input-Output conference back in May, where it showed off the product that had been designed with Warby Parker and Gentle Monsters. You can see on my screen right over here. Samsung Galaxy Unpacked event that was today. The company has said that the glasses have an inbuilt camera that can, besides record videos or take photos, can also read the content off a whiteboard or any kind of chart or any presentations and summarize them into notes. It can also, like I said, summarize people sending long messages into smaller notes. Executive Vice President at Samsung, James Choi, has said that this product will be priced at a premium and will only be available to people via its partners' sales channels. Now, here's my take. This is a market that has been dominated by Meta for quite some time. As long as we can remember, 69.2% is the stake that Meta currently holds as of earlier this year in the smartwear glasses markets. And Choi has also said that the glasses will be at the quote-unquote lower end of the money, but also won't be exorbitant either. So I don't know what to say about this, but it is also important to keep an eye and keep a note of the fact that Meta has dominated this market for quite some time. So Samsung coming in is going to be serious competition at the same time. But these two, I would say, designs look pretty cool. But yeah, let's see what the guys have to say.
Yeah, I tell you, Sia, I don't have much in the way of commentary on this. I do like the fact, though, that they do come in different styles, like we saw with Meta and the tie-up they made with Kylie there, as well as some others, and the designs that she threw out. So it's a good look. They look to be very similar in design to Meta's glasses. It looks like the same camera placement, wider kind of handles there that go over your ears where they're going to store the battery. Yeah, good look for them. Of course, as you mentioned, Meta does dominate the space. Let's see how Samsung is able to penetrate.
Yeah, I like that you brought that up, Sia, because I feel that the ground and the popularity of some of these wearables isn't there just yet. I think we're still gung-ho about these devices. I understand that the smartphone and everything along those lines, as from a technology standpoint, is it doing what we want it to do? I don't know, but what is important is that Meta is the first to market pretty much with the best quality product at this point in regards to actual the wearables, the glasses. You see the UFC fighters wearing them. But it's good for Samsung to step right in and slowly start to grab some of that market share. But I don't think we've seen, we're nowhere even close. I don't even say, I believe we're not even close to the pinnacle or the peak of these wearables, to be honest with you. I think there's a lot more room to run. I'm looking forward to see what Apple has to do if and when they release some glasses or something along those lines. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Meta is dominating it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it gets leapfrogged at one point.
I'd be interested to see, too, if we can get those AirPods that are supposed to have those fisheye camera lenses that perceive your surroundings and then give you kind of
like a feedback.
Yeah, because you're already seeing a little bit of that, like with the new Apple Intelligence. By the way, Beta 4 out for iOS 27 users. Katina, man, did you get on that iOS 27? So update, brother, because there was another one yesterday, Beta 4. And you're already seeing that, right? You're seeing Apple Intelligence already in the camera app where you can just kind of point at something and it gives you information on it. So I think that would probably be the first step, right, for those fisheye lenses and that kind of thing. I'm really interested to see how Apple's able to kind of make that all into one ecosystem. Because you got like Samsung, kind of the same player too, right?
Yeah.
They've got the phones.
They got the phone.
Exactly. So they can kind of consolidate all that into one. I like that. I like that approach.
I like that. Yeah, I like that approach, man. I'm looking forward to the future. Unfortunately, I'll be Oh, that's a crazy shot.
What? Bring
Pull
it back
that, yeah,
again.
pull that shot back up. Do it.
Bring it.
No, they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. Do it.
Do it,
Do it.
Assassino.
Hit it one more time, Assassino.
I think. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it was a
We got the
close
big
up.
boys, baby. Get it,
All right,
Katina Man.
yeah, I get it, Katina Man.
Zoom in on Katina Man.
Yeah, well, that's what it was,
exactly
man.
what's
But
going
no,
on over
they
there.
were zoomed in on the back of my boy's head. Like, what
That's
kind
crazy.
of criminal activity is that? But no,
Oh, Neil Short BMNR.
Yeah,
Not more
no,
downside on
yeah.
BMNR.
SpaceX
oh,
is
my
absolutely
days.
bleeding its own blood. Tesla's falling off a cliff as well too. So, yeah. Let's see. Are you gonna buy Zuck's smart glasses? Is that something that you would be looking?
I
to
bought
get into?
them when the first gen, and I returned them.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not really interested.
Like the Oakleys or anything like that.
I don't know. I'm not interested, Joey.
You know what I do like is the point of view, POV.
Yeah,
when you wear them, like if you're like recording something.
All
and
I
you just have
see is dudes wear that and then try to riz women on the internet, and like they're just trying to they're going up, speaking to them, and they got the smart glasses on. That's the only purpose I've seen
so far?
online.
Okay.
Yeah, Rizzlers.
Well, maybe the Rizzler. Do you know who the Rizzler is?
Rizzlers, of
Yeah.
course.
No, but I think if you're like playing sports, good for recording sports and stuff. But do you know that guy? You know the Rizzler?
I know about the Riddler. I'm
No, not
assuming
the
I know
Riddler,
that-
the Rizzler.
Yeah, so he's something. He's obviously doing his thing there with people. What does he do?
No, it's just this little kid that they call the Rizzler.
What does he have good riz?
No, he's a little
He sucks?
kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Why do they call him that?
I don't know.
Take care. 5 minutes in the bag.
Dude, that's a
eh?
lot, man.
Yeah, I think we're up to an hour now. We might have to take Friday off, guys. All right, man.
The guns are for gun content, POV. Like, come on, bro. We're tired. I mean, like, it's cool, but there's so many different points of views that you can use these things for.
All right, man.
Let's
Joey
get out of
Rizzler,
here.
there
Yeah,
you go.
5 minutes is a lot, dude. That's
care, guys.
crazy.
It's a race perspective.